Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Michael Huber.
The evil within.
Michael Damiani.
Yo.
No evil within, variant, just that. No evil within
Just
two.
getting his feet wet.
All right.
Just getting his feet wet.
Harpoons.
Harpoon. There it is.
Bolts.
Yes.
My co-moderator and Easy A's very own Yen Sid, Daniel Bloodworth.
Okay.
What
Huber,
a
you got a
compliment.
long hair on your chinny chin
Yeah.
chin.
Sorry.
It's called a beard.
Dang
And
it.
making
it's
it all
not.
happen in the control room,
Oh, yeah.
Isla Hink.
Board with a nail in it.
Great
Nice,
weapon.
Yeah.
We're just saying weapons we like, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what.
Or just things we like. These are a few of fun October things. Distinguished guests, we are here to talk about some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games this week. But before we do that, we must first answer for all of the mistakes we made in last week's podcast. Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
Apparently I'm going to treasure this forever. A leviathan is the term used to describe a consumer bigger than a whale.
That was one option.
I guess the whales are
There
the
were
450s.
three I saw.
There were a couple.
Damn.
Leviathan I saw come up like 4 or 5 times. So like Leviathan was the one that most people admitted. They're like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that's official. They're like, I'm in and around
Yo.
the people that set up those payment systems, and like that's what
I've-
it's like a
Where's
joking
the
thing.
Kraken?
Yeah.
I think
I've-
that was one of them.
It has
Kraken.
yet to be
I was like
released.
Kraken once out of all the comments. Somebody did say Kraken. but
I've
it's
also
like,
never heard anything past whale when referring to
no, see, that's the
poker.
thing. Oh, okay.
Poker, like, he's a whale. That's
you're
it.
not. It's above your pay grade.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And shark is just
Dude.
you got the spirit for it, but you're not getting the numbers of whales or certainly leviathans. Blue Point was responsible for the Xbox 360 port of Titanfall, and that was their last
Yeah.
non-Sony piece of work. Eternal Return is actually a term popularized by Friedrich Nietzsche and is the inspiration for Returnal's title. It's also the name of the first trophy you unlock in the game. Yandex is a Russian browser / search engine, and its inclusion could be due to Russian anti-monopoly agencies requesting that tech companies have Russian software support, which I, of course, did zero research on, but somebody in the comments said that. Lots of support for having us coin shadow drop. Isla specifically, I looked up, or somebody posted,
sick.
and I was like, please, maybe we'll get a link from someone. Huber Syndrome, episode 31, The Allies' Dream for PSX.
That was at least like a
Sick.
year after the first instance, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
That's the earliest
but
record
at least
on-
in that video, Isla said, I like to call it shadow drop, and so at
Hell
least
yeah.
confirmed that like that was we recognize as a group
Fun.
that you are the one saying it of the group,
So
whether you were
dope.
the first one to say it.
So dope.
Maybe do some more detective work. But thank you for the links on that.
Love that. Thank
And
you.
corrections music, please. Let's play starring role and do our part to make Hollywood a more productive place. Maybe not necessarily better, but these movies are not going to happen because big actors have stepped away. Big spaceships sometimes for last, if last episode is any indication. We got to fill this with a video game character. Don't ask me why. It is just the rules. It's what we have to do.
Okay.
Scotty the Wonder Dog is delivering the unfortunate news that Arnold Schwarzenegger unfortunately had to drop out of his role in Terminator 2. He was in Terminator 1, is leaving Terminator 2 3 days before
So
shooting
hard.
due to scheduling conflicts he previously be made being a judge in the Mr. Universe Championship.
Arnold.
Who will replace Schwarzenegger and prevent Judgment Day?
Nobody.
HK-47. Anybody not know HK-47?
K-47 stars Knights of the Republic.
Right?
Yep.
Nick Valentine
Ooh.
or Mega Man?
I can't. Mega Man's not going to work. I can't.
I refuse.
Nick
refuse.
Valentine.
I
is-
guess we could
I
cancel
know
the film, too.
name, but who am I?
Fallout,
Fallout
right?
4, legitimately my
Fallout
favorite
4.
Fallout
Oh,
character
yeah.
of all time. Made me like the franchise, Nick Valentine. Made me a Fallout fan, single-handedly.
Took till 4.
Yeah.
HK-47 is
Sounds
too
like a winner.
good, though.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty on par.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Just puts on like sunglasses or something and trying to be like.
Yeah,
It's probably
the funny
HK.
thing
Some
is,
off-
How would
was
the
human.
bar scene go down
Yeah.
there?
HK-47 in jeans. I don't know if that. Ride a motorcycle, sure, but
Yeah, your
Maybe the
movie is
safest
so
bet.
different
Yeah.
if he just looks like a robot, though.
none of these
Yeah,
movies are the
that's
same.
true.
Yeah, you skip ahead to the end.
You know?
Yeah. it's like, right.
Like he walks into the bar, HK-47, everyone's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I need your boots, your motorcycle. What do we think, though? Seems the one you're most excited about.
Probably, yeah. Nick Valentine is pretty comedic, I feel like. Like, he's got a dry sense of humor. HK-47 kind of has the edge. that we need. What was the last one?
Mega Man.
Mega
which we
Man.
kind of
Mega Man's too much of a hero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would be
right.
so. I mean, like again, you talk about that scene
Well,
of
that's
like
what-
Mega Man walking around.
So is Schwarzenegger, but he could be
Shotgun.
both. You know,
And
my
hero,
yeah.
bro. He threads that line so perfectly.
All right.
I'm picturing little Mega Man though, like lit darkly and like shot menacingly. It'd be pretty funny.
Yo, what has me excited actually about Mega Man versus the T-1000
Yeah.
has a lot of potential.
I need a vacation.
I think I would say HK probably, I guess.
Yeah.
Man.
Pretty Tonic suggests Kill Bill, the role Uma Thurman as the bride.
Oh, these are brutal.
The replacements: Juliet Starling from Lollipop Chainsaw,
No.
Sonya Blade,
Maybe.
and Bayonetta.
Oh, man.
Bayonetta's
got
pretty good.
the style,
Like
the
Kill Bill
moves.
with
She's
Bayonetta.
already too powerful
Yeah.
though. Sonya feels like more human, right?
I could totally see the
Yeah.
move your toe scene with Bayonetta. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like attitude and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a.
Yeah. Bayonetta's
Sonya's
got
just
it.
such a different vibe.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Just picture those meetings with Tarantino and Bayonetta. Just like, so show me what you can do. What's this thing? I'm hearing hair. There's something about hair.
But again, she's playing a role, so it's
Yeah.
she's not gonna be herself.
How different the
Yeah.
emerging from the underground scene.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
sure.
She gets out, so the punch. Yeah, she goes strike a pose and everything. She's gonna have a one-liner. Yeah.
She goes to train and just wrecks the guy like the first time they fight. Could be fun. All right.
Oh,
Lock it
and
in.
she walks up to that guy's house after that and she's covered in dirt. Just
Right. Okay, let's do a pocket. Wait a minute. Oh my God, this just in. Brandon Ray says Jar Jar can't be in episode 1. We have to do a third one. Jar Jar in episode 1 has to be played by either Big the Cat, Slippy Toad, or Kate Sith. We have to make this call right now. Big the Cat, Slippy
Cat.
Toad, or Kate Sith. Thank you.
Slippy
Brandon Ray.
Toad.
Toad.
Slippy freaking
Sure.
Toad for
Slippy Toad is it.
sure.
Sure.
Okay.
100%.
If there's any match,
Yeah.
it's Slippy Toad.
That's one of those. You imagine week after week, Brandon Ray just like, Jar Jar? Just can we get Jar Jar in there? And I'm like, I gotta move past it. But this was the week. Let's do it. This is also the week to talk about Q4. Woo!
When is the first day of Q4?
We're in Q4. I mean, it was
We're in it.
October. We're
Okay,
in it right
okay.
now.
You're
It's the
in one.
last
October 1st would have been it.
12 months out of the year, 3-month quarters. October, November, December. December's ridiculously light. October is out of control.
September is pretty out of control too.
October's pretty nuts. I granted, we do this preview every 3 months when I remember to do it. I definitely made some harsh cuts. So if I missed anything, let me know. But there's a lot of fun indie darlings and stuff like that I don't know if we'll have time for this week. So these are definitely the heavy hitters.
Okay.
Or things that are just extremely relevant to our interests or the Easy Allies community.
Great.
Kicking it off in October, and let me know as we are going through.
Yeah, what are we calling them this time? What are they?
You need to say, that's it. If that's your pick. If you go to your game, that's it.
That's it.
If it's not, wait a bit.
Wait a bit.
Wait a bit.
Okay.
Wait a bit on that
Wait
one.
a bit.
Wait a bit.
Or that's it.
Wait a bit.
That's it.
That's
it or wait a
hard.
bit.
That's
Okay.
hard.
Okay.
It's a different vibe than I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
originally thinking.
Yeah. New quarter, new vibe. You know what I mean?
New quarter, new vibe.
You can feel it. It's October. It's a
I like
different
it. I like it.
vibe. Metroid Dread is on October 8th.
I mean, that's it. Obviously. The buzz around this game is at a fever pitch. Everyone who's played it, the press, has pretty unanimously had glowing reviews about it. And it's the return of a long dormant, celebrated historical franchise. So, I mean, I don't really see how you can get much more hype than a new Metroid that people are saying is great.
You could maybe get it early. You could get an early code and then be able to hit embargo. That'd be pretty hype.
That'd be nice.
I'm just imagining. You know what I mean?
Small fries.
You get kind of you get in a dream state sometimes. When you think about new games coming out.
3 hours at the moment of this recording.
Do
Wait, yeah.
do we need to say a lot about Metroid? Or is it just like, I mean, yeah, here we go.
Don't let it overshadow Fist Forged in Shadow
There we
Text.
go. Okay.
Yeah,
Shadow Torch.
Here's the Huber's caveat. Yeah.
Really, really want that game to not slip under the radar. You know,
Too late, bro.
it is too late.
Yeah, right.
Dread is going to come and clean house, and then everyone will have their Metroidvania fix. But I encourage people to also give Fist a chance. They can coexist.
Yeah.
But that is your pick and not your pick, not Bloodworth's pick. Just
That's
making
not
sure.
my.
Just the one
That's
pick.
it.
Got
It's
it.
very close.
Got it. Oh,
It's gonna, elevated even more by that Switch OLED playing on.
Shit, I need to emulate this game or something. Get
Book
it off
of-
the Switch.
Book of Travels is on the 11th, which I bring up because you have checked it out,
I
Alan.
have
know
played
you-
it. Yeah.
I know it was a bit of an experience. I don't know if that episode is going to be available for people to check out, but
Yeah, the
anything you want to share with our listeners?
easy update about it goes up on Saturday, so tomorrow for Friday viewers, yesterday for public on this. I think the review embargo is today, so I think we can talk about it. But yeah, it's an interesting game, very slow paced. I feel a little bad because I get kind of frustrated about it in my episode, because trying to make a video about a show or about a game, is different than having 10 hours to just settle in and play a game. So I played it for 3 hours, and then I got pretty frustrated about not being able to find a boat. But I don't want it to make it seem like I hated the game. I think that they do need to do some stuff like quality of life stuff. Like an NPC is the boats run on a schedule, but they don't tell you the schedule.
No.
So I'm just
no.
that's unacceptable.
That is weird.
Add that in, little things like that, and then the game will be really good.
Even Shenmue 20 years ago, you go to the bus stop, the schedule's right
Right,
there.
right.
21 years ago, Majora's Mask schedule.
Right,
Get a nice little
exactly,
book
exactly.
to tell me to schedule.
I do love when I'll be playing something new and chat will be like, there's this really amazing resource on this website. It's like, it'd be awesome if that resource was in the video game.
Dude, I
the game
googled.
was like, what's
I
up?
googled.
Here's how to do this thing. Back for Blood is on October 12th.
So hyped. So I want this game to be a victory. I want it to be a win for Turtle Rock.
It's satisfying. Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2 was so long ago. This is, for all intents and
There's
purposes, Left
definitely
4
some
Dead 3.
tension. There's definitely some pushback from people that don't like the direction they've gone this time. So I'm curious whether we'll take off, or whether, people
Yeah.
kind of have that resistance, Evolve kind of fizzled out fairly quickly.
Yeah.
All I see is people saying it's not Left 4 Dead. It's like, this is not Left 4 Dead. It's not a Left 4 Dead replacement.
Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, calm down.
All right, yeah.
Maybe both
I
can
mean,
exist.
It's tough, Left 4 Dead, obviously, Left 4 Dead 2 is kind of a perfect game. It's really hard to find faults in that game. And that concept has been done so many times now, Left 4 Dead clones.
Right.
That's a genre, basically. So, yeah, interested.
It's weird, right? Because you get so many complaints about oh, you're just doing the same thing over and over, and they do something that's just slightly different. I don't know about this.
I wonder if it's gear. I wonder if it's gear and loot and abilities
Yeah, I think it
that are
does have to
kind
do with
of
that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wonder, it's because it's not only just a style or something. I really believe this team is proficient at this very specific thing that they do. And so I wonder if what my hope is that maybe it won't have a big of a launch, but a year from now they'll keep doing fun events.
Right.
It won't blow up as a Dead by Daylight because I don't think it had that fashion show red carpet style that Dead by Daylight does. It just doesn't feel like their vibe. But I think it'll be earn a pedigree because it'll be tough. That was difficult. We really had to pay attention when we were playing, and then potentially have more updates and modes and stuff like that, and have people be like, it's fun because it's just the adrenaline. My God, when you get in there, these things are just flying at you.
They still have such a good thing left on the table too. You're talking about just updates, the PvP mode. They don't have the
Right.
infected mode from Left 4 Dead where you could be the monsters versus going through the campaign. It's just kind of that horde mode survival thing they have.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that, once it's out there and not just a beta or something, and people can sit in it a little bit longer and get to know things in a deeper way, that it actually does get some traction. Some people kind of get over the comparisons a bit more.
Seeing those upgrades work out over the long
Right.
run, how all that
Yeah,
plays.
because that's the thing. It's even when you're doing a beta, it's it's so hard to be invested in that stuff because it's
Exactly.
going to get wiped away.
Totally.
Jackbox Party Packs 8, October 14th. Not a whole lot to say. We haven't played the games yet. You can't really say anything about those games until you tried those out.
It'll
but,
be a fun stream. Yeah.
That's just that. Always a way to mark the calendars for me because they do fun stuff. Demon Slayer, the Hikonami Chronicles, on October 15th.
So hyped for this. Holy shit. Rarely do I get the opportunity to be caught up on a big mainstream anime, and I am caught up on Demon Slayer. And the hype is real. It is one of the best I've seen. Season 2 is in December.
Right. We're talking about a game right now. We're
so
talking about
this
a
game is everything that's come before this new season that's about to happen.
Cool.
There's multiplayer. Obviously, it's from CyberConnect, the team behind the Naruto games. And the adventure mode is basically just going through the anime. So there won't be any spoilers for anything past what's already been revealed. So I'm just so ready for this.
How many episodes of Mike and Mike are you going to allow this game to be on, Damiani, before you're
Well,
like,
we're playing,
evil
We're playing Evil Within
Yeah,
right now.
we're
so
playing Evil Within.
Hubert said
You better
forget
beat
all,
this.
Hubert told every one of us to forget us. He's gonna do it on his
Oh, okay.
at home
Oh, yeah,
when he
Demon
heard
Slayer,
about
yeah.
Sora. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing this.
The Good Life is on October 15th, which we have played at Easy Eyes. Watched a little bit of it.
We played, a
demo.
bit of the demo, but apparently you can spend 8 hours in the
Right?
demo, so or
Yeah, that
more.
game looks like a time sink. Dang.
Yeah, it's like somewhere between like Harvest Moon and a mystery game.
It's
at
like
the
Harvest
same time.
Moon, Life is Strange, and Deadly Premonition kind of
Yeah.
I definitely got premonition vibes for sure.
I mean, it's the same guy,
it's-
so
it's
it's
swearing,
definitely,
so
yeah, Deadly Premonition all over it.
Vibe-wise, for sure, but I think like in terms of gameplay, it like there's cooking and there's planting and there's getting to know characters, and so yeah, I got lots of Harvest Moon in my book.
10 out of 10 protagonist intro, though. Like,
Yes.
it's this
Yeah.
idyllic town, narrator talking about how wonderful it is and how friendly everything is. First words out of the hero's mouth. What a goddamn hellhole.
And there's no
reason to say
for
that.
it.
No
Yeah,
reason
just
to
like
hates
say
a
it.
it.
totally normal
She's
town.
just in such a bad mood all the time.
It's like those like Christmas movies where like the child goes back home like, ugh.
Now, if
Yeah.
she had said that after she got into the house that they gave her
Yeah.
with that old PC, I
the
could
good
kind of
life.
get it, but it's like they gave you a house.
Right.
Right.
That's the sweary magic, baby.
Right. Also, the people that live there are dogs and cats. So there's that also in the game. It's also an element.
Yes.
One part of it.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
At night.
Inscription comes out on October 19th.
Yeah.
Isla and I have played this demo. Have you played the demo?
I've not played the demo, but I'm so hyped on this game.
It's pretty great.
It's really
It's a
cool.
very bizarre demo. It's a game that just really wants to crawl inside your head and in a way that's very obvious that it is a game, and so it's fun. I just immediately like message Isla. I'm like, you have to play this demo right away. I actually didn't finish the demo. There's a lot of it. I was like, I think I'm good. Like
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
need
good.
to know more of
good.
this. I'd rather
Yeah, that
get
happens
into
to
the
me a lot
full
with
thing.
demos too. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
this is going on long enough.
Yeah.
I'll jump
Save
out.
it for the final game.
Yeah.
Save it.
Yeah, I finished the demo. It was good. It's just after that first like boss. If you beat it, it's kind of done. But it's real good. That's a good game. I can't decide what my This Is It is,
I can,
but
I know it very clearly.
is it the next one?
It's
Is it-
Resident Evil
it was
4
maybe
VR,
gonna be- yeah,
which
it was
launches on the
maybe-
Oculus Quest 2 on October 21st.
Very excited for this.
Sorry, Riders Republic. Riders Republic getting knocked out of that slot for a second time because it got delayed. I didn't pick it as my pick, and I was almost going to do it.
That's
And I think even like
hilarious.
going into this podcast, I was like, oh, it's probably Riders. And like looking at this list now, I'm like, oh, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I get to travel inside like I'm Captain. What was it? Captain N with the Nintendo
Game
guy.
Master?
Yeah. I'm gonna Captain N into Resident Evil 4 and walk around this environment. This game that I have played like 7 times all the way through.
Just 7?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a trip. I'm gonna take like, what's your average Resident Evil 4 playthrough? Like 8 hours, maybe? 8, 9, 10?
No, it's longer than you think.
Yeah, like
Game-
12?
That game is a
It's-
longer
yeah.
game than you think.
It's gonna take me 40 hours to go through this game because I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
it's
stare at
longer.
stuff all day. I'm gonna look at windows. I'm gonna look at the ground. The
Over
most
10
the
easily.
goofiest,
You're gonna
muddiest
look at
textures.
that body
Oh, I'm gonna look at every
at the beginning.
the
with
gal with the pitchfork with the-
right through the face.
so beautifully placed.
Oy.
You
I
miss
love
her
how-
right when you go in, and then you turn around. She's right there.
You should stare down El Gigante.
Yeah.
First time, just like let it come
Yeah,
up to you
crush
and
me.
grab,
When he
Yeah.
grab
grabs
you.
you,
Yeah.
lifts you
yeah.
up.
So
I love
Holy
how
shit.
I'm just so excited.
I'm really hoping that, because I like how they put in the teleport thing, but I really wonder how it's going to work, because some of the combat stuff, you
Yeah.
have to move constantly.
Oh, that's
They talked
yeah.
extensively about rebalancing the game
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
for
really?
VR. So it's
I have the vibe that a lot of things are going to play out differently.
It's
and-
gonna
Oh,
be
cool.
yeah. It's
But I
different
think
for
that's
sure.
why it's my pick, because my expectations are just gone. Like, I literally have
Right.
nothing. I'm like, hope they do this scene a certain way. I don't care. I've played this game so many times. It's
Yeah.
like, this is just going to be a carnival ride for me. It's going to be a
Yeah.
blast.
I
The
like
thing-
how they kept the weird, like, kind of desaturated color palette of the
Sure.
game because it's
Yeah,
like a
that was
weird
definitely a
washed out
choice.
looking
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
The thing that I wonder about is there's just so many. They just went all in on death animations in that game.
How are those gonna work?
Yeah, like
Pan
how will
out
that,
maybe
yeah.
third person.
You're gonna flip over when you get chainsaw.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, your head falls off. No, that would make you sick.
Hater, please.
Or like fade to black and then fade up and you see it from another.
Sure.
Well, when you
Like-
teleport, it goes third person and you see him running to the next location. So probably it'll just.
Oh, okay. So you will.
It'll
maybe
just go to
still see
third
it in
person.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
I've definitely had like victory screens in VR games where it cut to
Yeah.
third, so it's not that jarring if you do it well.
Yeah.
Rolling along that cheesy horror train, Dark Pictures, House of Ashes,
I'm gonna
Asher.
say
on
wait a
October
bit.
22nd. Yeah, I'm
Wow,
gonna say-
blood is way to bidding.
I'm gonna say it too on that one. Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna play it like day one,
Of course.
but for the general
but
public,
it's a perfect game for our interests.
Yeah.
But like, man, I get nervous about all of these things, and there's just not a
Yeah.
lot.
because so far, like the
Interesting
Dark
about what I've
Pictures
seen.
games. Well, I missed the second one, but the first one, it was kind of like not quite as good, not quite as what I was expecting. And then this one in particular, like just not into the whole vibe and like the military
Yeah.
angle and
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty
fact that they've
disinterested.
already shown the monster and they have a statue of it. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that statue.
There's something
So
about
bad.
scared soldiers to me. It's like one thing if you take like your average citizen and elevate them to like or even like an engineer, like Ellen Ripley, and like elevate her to like hero status. Another thing where it's like, well, I got to make all these soldiers dumb so
Predator.
that like some
Predator
weird thing
one.
Predator
split them
does
up
it
for
right.
no reason whatsoever. Like, yeah, but like you see, I mean that they met their match, like
Yeah.
that's a Whereas if these are just random monsters, I don't know. It's frustrating to see. It's like they're so capable and then they all just get annihilated.
Yeah, I thought Man of Medan was a good start. I was like, okay, this is a good start. But then Little Hope was kind of didn't really, get past that. It didn't elevate it
Right.
enough. And now, like you're saying, I don't really like the vibe of this one. So I feel like this whole anthology hasn't hit its stride yet. And for it being the third entry, that's kind of concerning. That there's not a lot of hype going in.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that two of you burned your wait a bit on this because, like, to me, it seems implicit in the Dark Pictures. Like, wait a bit is like built
Right.
in. It's just like
No,
this is probably like a 6.
That's the thing. I like even with that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
looking at everything on this list and it's like,
But
it's
here's
like,
the thing, like you said, it's perfect. Like, I love these games.
Yeah.
Because it's just perfect for what we do. Like,
What we
I'm
do, for
so
sure.
looking forward to streaming it and
Yeah.
then never playing it again.
Yeah.
They're
It's
fun.
like a movie. It's like we're
yeah.
watching a movie that night. It really is. It
Yeah.
scratches such a specific itch that is
Yeah.
not usually available in gaming.
We're binging the new Mike Flanagan. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
pretty much. Yeah.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, October 26th. Sooner than I remembered. I was putting this list together like, oh, right.
Until Ben's impressions and other
Yeah.
impressions
Yeah.
that would have been my way to bit.
Yeah.
So
Same, yeah.
got saved from it.
watch that.
Which is kind of cool.
Cosmo clip
Shows the
today.
power of impressions, It's neat. Also shows like you can kind of sometimes get a sense of that gotcha moment when we'll like review a game we're excited about and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's bad. And people are like, haha. And it's like, well, how is that? You never know until you actually go to check it out to get your hands on it. So
I think I still might say wait a bit on this. I don't know. I'm just not really hyped on it. I think it's just like too much MCU right now. Too much Marvel, like every day, all day, every day.
to me, even with Ben's thing, the fact that like we've gotten this far in advertising and like I haven't had one good Gamora moment. Like I haven't had one moment in any of the advertising I've seen where I've been like, oh, cool Gamora take. It's just she's just there's Gamora. It's like there's just not. It's
Right.
really leaning on Quill, really leaning on Rocket. And so I'm like. I just was looking for like one moment for just to see like, oh, interesting characterization. That's how they're going to take that, and could be safe, but also could pull it off. I don't know. Just really need to like love all of those characters to really be invested in that big of a game with them in it.
I want to go in with no expectations. I think I'll like it more.
It's quicker than I expected, so that's probably a good place to be.
Yeah.
They just announce it, then we get a preview event, and then boom, there it is. Shout out to Iron Harvest, which is on October 26th, the previous sponsor of the Easy Allies podcast.
Been out for a while on other platforms.
Correct.
But,
it's just going to the next gens on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. I played it at a event that we went to.
Nice.
I got crushed in that game. It's one of those hour-long preview sessions where at the end of it, I'm like, now I got it. After an hour, I'm good. The next match, I do really well, but the first one, not so good. Solar Ash is on October 26th, which is a game I hope does well. Yeah, proud of you.
Yeah.
Looks neat.
I just, Hyper Light Drifter, I really, really enjoyed when that came out. Didn't have any context for it before that. And Solar Ash, it has a lot of those same vibes, but it also looks like a very, very different game. Being in 3D and having the giant beasts and all this stuff.
It's like Jet Grind Radio meets Shadow of the Colossus. Like,
it just seems really cool.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
Jet Grind Radio? Was that after Set? Jet Set Radio? Are they different?
I know there's two.
I think
of
one
them.
is Japanese name and the other one's
okay.
US.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I prefer more the Japanese take on things. If you knew me,
Yo, Evil Within, Japanese title. Psycho Break.
That's right.
Right.
Let's go.
It's a good name.
Jet Grind might be the original North American name.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
There it is. Thank you, Isla.
So it's Jet Set Radio in Japan.
Jet Set Radio and then Jet Grind, but then they just made it Jet Set here too.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Expectations on game length. Daniel Bloodworth on Solar Ash.
On Solar Ash.
35 hours.
What?
I don't
God.
know.
What?
I don't know.
8 to 12.
Yeah, I think in the teens, right? I would think 12. Yeah.
Psycho Break.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I know some of my best friends are making this game, so I
Yeah,
can
right.
talk about it. Like I played an early build of it, and it was fun. So
I'll text him right now. Give me length, please. I appreciate that. For the podcast.
I actually was going to text them and ask them about something else, but
Yeah. Well, now you can text him about that.
Well, that's actually something
Chop.
that some of the PR teams this year have been like getting better about and doing more very proactively. They're like, here is the game. Here is how long it's going to take to play. Do you want to request a copy? I'm like, oh, thank you. That makes a big difference.
Not the Metroid Dread team though.
So much PR stuff is so silly. Like I can imagine like that moment in the email where they're like, "But seriously, anyway, this is what actually is going on with this game."
I might look it up, but Astria Ascending, wasn't it like something ridiculous? It was like 20 or 30 hours for the main story, and then like 80 for completion. I'm like,
Whoa.
what?
It's like, yeah, if you do side quests, it's going to take like 80 hours.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's a Ubisoft game. Like, all right, 15 hours,
Crit
completion is 100.
Yeah, 25, 35 hours on the light side. It's like on the light side.
You know what game will probably take you a long time? Age of Empires 4,
Sick.
Oh.
October 28th.
Isla, can we stream this together, please?
Ooh.
that sounds great. Yeah,
Great.
Ooh.
co-op or versus?
Co-op.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we just play one together, like
Yeah,
one
I
crew,
think that's
yeah.
how co-op would have to
Yeah.
be. I don't think it has a co-op, but
Love Age of Empires so much growing
Yeah.
up. 1 and 2. Skipped 3 entirely. Didn't really go back for the remasters, but this is
Well, 4 feels like a huge
Yeah,
deal.
this is-
Knowing this franchise, like 4,
Yeah.
really? Whoa.
this is so cool because this is now the moment where it's like, okay, I'm gonna re-enter this franchise after being away for 15 years. So really pumped.
For the Halloween fans, Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater will be on a bunch of consoles. The Switch is really the one that got the name out there, I think, more than
really-
others.
Yeah.
October 28th.
Originally it was Wii U.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This game is doing. Whoever's marketing this game is a brand manager because a lot of people think this is
the
a
new one,
brand new Fatal Frame, and
Right.
it's not.
Right.
This game is old, and they're tricking a lot of people. I feel like.
That's a little bitter right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bummed about it when they first showed
the,
it. I was
the
like,
community
oh my God,
reviews are
new
going to
one.
be interesting.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't know if
You've been
Yeah.
tricked.
Oh, yeah, it's
You've
Koei
been
Tecmo.
tricked.
this
Don't
game is
be
so
tricked.
2016.
Yeah.
You're like, it literally is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, not bitter. Just like it's an observation I've seen of just like.
But if
weird.
Fatal Frame is a desert, this is an oasis
Totally.
that you can't pass,
Totally.
if you're a big fan. I think Ben said he was playing Fatal Frame 1 the other day. He dug it up. There's definitely that Fatal Frame itch I wouldn't mind scratching this month.
Dope.
Riders Republic is on October 28th, which I'm excited about. Could still do weird stuff, which is why, again, I know I'm going to enjoy Resident Evil 4. So almost would be my pick, but I played the preview of that and loved every second of it. Had a great time.
Well, they've already announced like their whole year 1 plan or whatever
Yeah.
as well. So
This is a developer that wants to do this.
Yeah.
Like they're really, really focused on it.
And I think similar to, the Crew 2 and For Honor, and like this is just a game that's like, even if it isn't hitting huge numbers, they're just going to keep dumping more content at it, So yeah, if that's your thing, then you're going to have plenty to go back to.
Just scale it back, Ubisoft. Why don't you do that?
Well, that's the
Just
thing.
Scale it back.
That's the reason why I like this is when you play something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's an exhaustion to like, Eivor, we need to for our people, and we need to. And you're just like, okay, I'll go back out again. And like anytime I would come home after a victory, it was short lived because I got to head back out again and start a whole new storyline. Whereas in this, it's if you want to play this for an hour, it's great. If you want to play this for 5 minutes, you can do that. If you just want to jump in and goof off, if you don't care what you're doing, you just hit the button and just will throw you into some random event. If you want to do something that's like, we'll put you in leaderboards, or if you just want to focus on like bikes are fun, if you want to do one discipline, you can like follow those events, or if you're just like, I don't care what I do for the next hour. So I liked that it could.
That's smart.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll play games like this, big like extreme sports games, wanting to fall in love with them, and I'm like, oh, you want me to do like a thing here? Yeah. And Steep kind of had that for better or worse the last game that they made, and for this they were definitely just like, do whatever
Jones,
you want.
did you ever play California games?
Oh, on Game Gear, like
nice.
nuts.
Hell yeah, I had the Genesis version
all day
so
long.
sick.
Actually, Apple IIe
So
also,
fun.
I think, being the D. Yeah.
Yeah.
The framiness of like the surfboard doing the flips.
Yeah.
Big deal.
I remember just loving Hacky Sack.
Did I tell
So
you,
fun.
Damiani? Because this fascinates me about this just from a technical perspective, sports aside. But the map thing, how they with ghosts and stuff like that, how that works. So if you are in the game, it will record your ghost and play you back whenever it feels like it. Like if you're playing online. So when you're in the world and you look around, none of those people are actually playing. It's all just their ghosts. So you won't bump into them, but you can still see what they're doing. And at any point, you can zoom out to the map, and there's just like ants. There's just people everywhere, like going down courses and stuff.
Whoa.
So if there's like the one actual like tactical advantage that I thought of is I was like, if there's one part of a course that I'm really having a problem with, like how do I take that turn that fast?
Watch the ants.
I can just literally zoom into that spot on the map and just watch it. And just people keep coming down it again and again and again. That guy did, crashed, and that guy did a big jump or something, and like
I think
it's
Dark
really
Souls
neat.
kind of had a mechanic like that.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
visually.
Well,
it's
Drivatars
fun
and Forzas. Yeah.
fun to see, fun to float around.
Mario
But,
Ghost.
But when you
see.
race the real people, right?
when you race, there are races you do against real people.
Real-
Not all.
okay, cool.
But that again leads into the quickness of it. Like if you don't have to worry about people queuing with you, you can jump into an event, you're out in 2 seconds, and yeah, there were ghosts around you and it was chaotic, but like they're not going to get in your way. Or like every 10 or 15 minutes, it's like, all right, here we go. And when you saw the Riders Republic trailer where they were just like knocking dudes and a guy in a bear outfit, like that's the thing. Where
Can you
sign up
jump
with
to a
everybody.
point with them and sync with their ghosts? Maybe like
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
they're gonna start now, so like they're on a bike and it's like, oh, I'm on a bike, and you want to see that course. It's like, all right,
that
go,
run
and
or-
you follow
yeah.
them, so you see where the deviates. So like, okay,
maybe.
so they're slightly turning right here, or they slow down right there. More, I mean, you can watch it, but like just being able to do it along, like that's the biggest advantage of having those ghosts.
Yeah.
Totally.
But for me, if you just loves to tool around Forza Horizon, which we're talking about, who loves to just tool around open world games, it's fun to know that like, oh, somebody might be seeing this someday. Like me just goofing around this one part, somebody might be like,
Yeah, I'm
hey,
gonna find the Jones ghost.
look at that. Yeah, gotta pick an outfit and
Get 'em
stick to
all.
it so people know where I am.
Filter just only Jones.
And finally, in October, on the 29th, Mario Party Superstars.
Yeah.
Where are expectations set for this? I know we'll enjoy it, but like,
It's sort
How
of
good do we
it's,
think
it's
this is
like a
gonna be?
best of
Yeah.
mix. So I hope that it's really good. I know that the series has been sort of in like a slump here and there.
Sort of slump. The last like 5 have been atrocious.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Not
this
in a
series.
sales slump though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the last one was bad.
There were like 3 or 4 maps total, and they
It
never
was
gave it
fine, but
post-launch.
not great.
Right.
Yeah.
They said they were gonna like keep it updated and stuff, and like a year went by, just radio silent. I mean,
because that's what I'm talking
COVID,
about.
of course.
This Mario Party anger
Yeah.
is such an interesting part of Huber's persona.
Oh,
Like, I
yeah.
love.
Well, it's for being
just-
one of their best-selling games.
Yeah.
It's just like they
Right.
waited, and it's clear some of that DLC they got recently was more so because they were doing it for this version as well, like the online update. It's like, oh, they're adding online to this, but this one,
back to its roots. This
and
is
a bit
the
of
one.
like
yeah.
a content plan looks like. So
Yes.
it's like this might
Absolutely.
be the one where
This is the
it
one.
satisfies what you were looking for before.
Yeah. Mario Party Truly, Jones, is the only game where I want to destroy you all.
For sure.
Truly.
It's hard to lose.
Like,
it's hard.
it is
yeah.
hard to swallow a loss, and I want to freaking win. I want to win. If I'm going to tell you right now, if I say I don't want to win, I'm lying. Like, it is so personal, that game, out of every game ever. Mario Party.
Well, I hope you win, Hubert. I don't want to disappoint you. I hope I don't beat you for sure. My goodness. What a position that would be in. Mario Party is a fascinating game to do a remaster of, because they'll show off old levels. You're like, oh wow, that multiplayer map or something looks so much better. Like Shadow of the Colossus, wow, it looks so much better. It's interesting. Mario Party, huh?
Yeah, well, Mario Party, because they did look
Sure.
like old game boards flat. Right. Now they're 3D and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did see that they're adding the old maps, right? I saw the birthday cake one and the haunted forest one. Oh, it's so good.
That one, first one we're playing.
Yes.
That board.
So hype.
Our first big release of November and your best-selling game of 2021, Call of Duty Vanguard. Pew pew.
I don't know what to say every time other than yep.
Yeah.
More Call of Duty. I mean, I play every year. I go through phases. That the way I engage with Call of Duty is so calculated. It's some years I'm all in Doritos and Dew. Some years I'm just really passive.
What's the passive called?
Passive, I'll play for just a couple weeks, play through the campaign.
There's no
that.
soft drinks.
I love that.
That's
Passive.
passive. A couple
of
weeks.
Yeah, a week or two. That's it. Get the launch
That's
hype.
one day.
That's
Okay,
more
cool.
than my attention span on almost every game.
Pepsi and Cheetos.
Yeah. But this one I'm not too hyped for just yet. Because it's a Battlefield year for me. So
Yeah.
I'll bring some hype back to this table. Forza Horizon 5. What do you got, Bled? You hyped?
it's always a franchise I've really, really wanted to get into. Love Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, and Burnout. But Forza was always the one that was kind of, I'm looking at it over there longingly. I never have really dove into Forza all in. So this year could finally be that year because this one looks so good.
This is Game Pass vacation material for me, 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
This is one of those library things. I'm just gonna be beep 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 beep. We're scrolling down. Oh, Horizon 5. Oh, that boom. Let's download it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Whether I'm playing or not, get it on there.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Evolution 2
Looks cute.
looks cute. Looks terrifying. You're going out in the world. You don't have the security of home base. You're going out. You're nomads, right? Out into the world.
I don't know. Don and I were actually talking about this, and it seems like I hope I'm wrong. It just seems like more of the same in more places, and it doesn't seem like Don I know really likes the simulation aspects of these kinds of games, and he was kind of bummed that it didn't flesh that out at all. I just hope that there are more surprises in it than meets the eye. Because from the trailers so far, it just seems like, yeah, they're just doing it again, but which is good. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Depends on expectations.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun and really cool.
We're getting the last Jurassic World movie because they're doing a trilogy and a 6-movie thing or something that they hope they're talking about. It's it's wrapping all of it up. Does that mean we don't get any more Evolution games? Or like you're saying, maybe their ideas are running out?
Yeah, I don't know.
Games are going forever, man.
I'm sure that whatever the next Jurassic Park franchise is, there'll be video game tie-ins.
Yeah.
I hope so. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic comes to the Nintendo Switch on November 11th.
Yeah, why don't you wait on this one? Why
That's
don't
a
you
good-
just
Oh,
go on?
yeah.
Why don't you just go on Steam
remaster.
and download it there
Sure.
and play a far superior version, most likely.
Oh,
Play this anywhere but Switch. That's what I say to any multi-platform game. No offense to Switch, but if you have the option to play it anywhere else, I would probably do that.
there you go. Those hot KOTOR takes. I need
Also
'em.
with a full-blown ass remaster on the horizon,
Sure.
Remake, yeah.
remake. I've never played KOTOR, so it's
Yeah.
why would I not just wait for the big girl one?
Same.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the mobile version is pretty decent, and yeah.
This is probably the same one, honestly.
Yeah, well,
Same
it's the same
company, I think.
Yeah,
Probably.
Aspire is
Probably.
working on the remake. They
Yep.
probably did the mobile one and they're doing the Switch one. I think that, yeah, it's just one of those games. Just put it on everything. Why not?
Sure, yeah. Skyrim style. Like, why
I mean,
not?
throw everything
Honestly.
on Switch for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I
And it is cool to take it on the go.
There's cloud versions.
I think, yeah, not something I'm looking forward to playing in November. It would be kind of fun to play the remake on like my PS5 controller and then have the Switch on my lap and just be like, what is it? Oh, that whole looks different. Like, might be fun.
I love this, Jonathan. I love that.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is also on that Switch the next day, November 12th.
Part
That's a big
of
one.
me wants to troll say like wait on it, but obviously it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it'll probably be like the biggest entry in the series.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be one of the
Yeah.
best-selling
I-
titles for the year
I
for
think
the
it's in
Switch.
an interesting position because it has been very much an under the radar kind of series, and Persona got really big with 3, 4, and 5. And now, there's a lot of people that have, people have been getting invested in the series in other ways.
Good call,
But
Blood
now
Wrath.
this is like a really, really major release
Great call.
for SMT proper. So
Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, I felt was in the same position. Where it was like, was it before the holidays? Was that a summer game? I just remember like a lot
think
of
it was
us
more
were.
summer.
I remember like a lot of us in Q4 and Q3 were like, making a lot of time for that, and I think that it just seems like a nice, cozy, holiday RPG for a lot of people at the end of the year.
Three
to
Houses
spend
is
some
so
time with.
good, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Are you
really
still going
deserves
on
to
it,
be said.
Hubie?
What's up?
Are you still going on Three Houses?
Yeah, I haven't streamed in a while, but I'm gonna pick those up soon. Hopefully next week.
Just a nice big RPG to take, a big bite out of.
I'm intimidated by it, and I think that's kind of holding back my hype. Is I have no familiarity with Shin Megami
right.
Tensei proper, just Persona 4 and 5. So I'm kind of intimidated by it. And
They're the harder ones, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, and it just
they're
seems
harder.
it seems
They're a
daunting.
lot darker.
I'm not
They're
attached
not
to
as
the property
much about
yet.
story.
Yeah. So I'm I guess probably just waiting for Ben to be like,
Yeah.
yo,
No.
Goaty. Like as soon as Ben says Goaty or whatever.
They seem, yeah,
Oh.
a lot of people seem to be, they did a good job with the protagonist, at least so far. Like a lot of people have been talking about it.
Nice.
And so
That's essential.
caught a lot of people's eyes. So I mean, it's, good start there.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That remaster came out earlier this year too.
For 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nocturne, right? Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1
Yo.
is on November 16th.
Hype
shout out
as
to Elise
hell.
Willems. Yeah, just shout out to Sherlock.
Well,
Still,
yeah.
still kicking ass, baby.
This here's my.
PC, PS5, and Series X is next
Yes,
gen
this
Sherlock
one.
Holmes.
All right, ready? I want. This one's like kind of my. This is it, and wait a bit.
Okay.
Like, cause I'm really excited for this game. I think that if they do it right, it could be awesome. But I'm very afraid they're biting off more than they could chew, and that it's
Right.
gonna really fall on its face. It could honestly go either way. So I'm
Yeah.
really hyped for this, and obviously like Metroid and stuff and Inscription, I'm like more hyped for. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this.
This is an interesting one because obviously Crimes and Punishment and Devil's Daughter, whatever, like blew this franchise up.
Yeah, dude.
But
Crimes and Punishment is really good. Devil's Daughter, not as good.
yeah, the origin vibes is really cool. So if you're not caught up with it, like this seems like a good
Right.
entry point. But then I don't know, like you're saying, a little concerned. They were talking about like combat overhauls and
yeah.
all this, and like
Fight like a detective. Yeah,
leaning
like-
into combat. So if that works out or not, I feel like is going to be, how this game goes.
We're so disappointed the combat is not like Robert Downey Jr. Like,
Yeah.
plot out like your attacks.
those movies.
It really was
Love those
iconic.
movies.
Dude.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Those are awesome.
They're feeling the pressure. Good soundtracks. Good scores.
Oh, great
Listen to those all the
soundtracks.
time.
Yeah.
It's like Born Identity.
Yeah. Except for like, I love his pre-planning and then execution. It's so cool. I don't know. Those are fun, dumbass movies.
Well, it's funny. It's like Robert Downey Jr. like muscular is not like the first word that comes to mind, but like guy's ripped. Like guys done a good job.
That's the
Taking care of
interesting
himself.
thing with Sherlock because I've read all of them and like, yeah, he's like a boxer, drug addict. Like he's
Wait.
wiry, dude.
You've read all the Sherlock Holmes books?
Yeah, audiobook for most of them, but
All of aren't there like 100?
No.
no, not that many.
Oh, okay.
But I've done all of them. Yeah,
Awesome.
it was fun. It's a
Wow.
good collection. Complete Sherlock Holmes. Check it out.
That's
they
so
get
cool.
They get real weird after the falls. Like they get real weird.
Wow. That's awesome.
Battlefield 2042 on November 19th.
I already burned my This Is It.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being irrational, but Battlefield to me this year has like GOTY potential. That's where my expectations are. multiplayer games have won GOTY in the past, Overwatch and stuff. Battlefield 2042 looks like it could be that level of quality for a multiplayer game. Little disappointed with Battlefield 1 and 5. This feels like a return to form, for better or worse. And I'm just hyped as shit. I'm just super hyped on this. No campaign, obviously. I think that's the smart move, because now they can go all in on making multiplayer the best it could possibly be. I have not had a chance to play the beta that's going on right now, but I'm so excited.
I want it for you.
Yeah, I really want it. Because, those early Battlefield games to me are some of the best ever. Like Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3. Obviously, Bad Company 2 has a lot of love for other reasons, but this series can reach the highest highs. Everyone over the years, like Call of Duty gets all the love and the accolades, and I think Battlefield deserves that same level of respect.
Portal, too. Battlefield Portal.
Battlefield Portal is so hyped.
It could
yes.
Be. It could be the solution to all their woes.
Yes, Bloodworth. Already Twitch chat has been talking so much about Huber with a shotgun versus all of us with knives.
Dude.
Setting up all of these different scenarios.
That's fun, dude. That's fun.
There's so much potential here.
And that's the thing, dude, there's some GTA Online custom games that I've played, built by the community that were so much better than anything else that I've ever played that Rockstar made. And so it's every time we get a Dreams or anything, I'm please let even the Mario Maker, it's and what was the new one on the Switch? It was Game Creator something, the little robot guy.
Yeah.
I'm always please let this blow up.
Please
Let this be huge, And so that would be really special to me if that was a fundamental shift.
Yes.
If Battlefield's now this is what we're known for. This is what our competitors are not doing.
Yeah.
That you can really step in and make it your own.
Totally.
Because when they announce, I haven't been playing Warzone or anything, but I just hear a lot it's fun, it's not balanced the way I like, or it's neat, but they made a change and I just bounced off of it. And it's it'd be so cool if you could just get in there and
start
get under the
tweaking
hood and
everything.
just go nuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did they? Do we know why it's called Portal? Because
a game portal.
every
The
single
game,
time.
Because it is a portal to...
A Portal 2.
Oh, different. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because just now when Blood was Portal 2.
Yeah.
I was what? Portal 2? What?
Do you guys
Valve.
think a multiplayer only game can still be GOTY in today's day and age?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely possible.
We gave Hearthstone GOTY. We're crazy.
Hearthstone
we're out
and
there.
crazy.
Overwatch
We're
have
crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever minds.
And coming to PC, PlayStation 4, PS5 on November 23rd. Final Fantasy 14 and Walker. Okay.
That's it.
Wait a bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the wait a bit might be wait a week for
Queue
the
times.
servers. Yeah, there actually might be
Hey,
some
if
truth
New
behind
World
that.
could solve it relatively quickly,
That's-
it's already way
That's
better.
Amazon.
Amazon
has servers.
has its own servers.
Right.
14 Team has been making multiple advanced
okay.
apologies
So
saying we are doing everything to try and secure new servers. They're just they're none to buy. We're even looking on secondhand markets to buy more of them.
Garage sales.
Amazon's got them all, dude.
Yeah,
What the
Amazon
hell?
got them all. Amazon scoop. That's how Amazon wins. They're you're not gonna have any servers to play on anymore.
Dude, Huber, I'm picturing the Final Fantasy 14 team, Mackenzie or whatever, Halt Catch Fire. They're buying secondhand stolen servers in a van,
Oh my god, it's so good.
When I created my character for New World, there were a lot of servers. there was a big old list. I'm glad I had a direction to go in because that was that was big. If you are Square and you actually have a very clean launch, if there's not a lot of server issues for Endwalker, do you flex against New World? Do you do
they actually? I mean, you're asking me,
right?
But
because Square used to be like that. Final Fantasy ads used to be really cheeky.
In fact, Naoki Yoshida, director producer, even said I really am getting tired of people trying to egg on Blizzard and Warcraft with
I remember that.
One, if you don't know, he is a massive Blizzard World of Warcraft fan. Like he loves PC games. He loves PC games from like the 90s and like early 2000s. Like he's hardcore into that stuff in Western games, and that's where a lot of his philosophy comes from. So like, I'm sure on some personal level it breaks his heart when he sees like, not with everything that's going on, but like just like what fans were doing in 14, like like WoW sucks now. It's like it's time to like make fun of WoW player stuff. He's like, no, like that's not cool. Like that part of it.
That's that's like a general toxicity. That's something he can deal with over developing the video game. I'm talking about the marketing team. We're in a totally different building. No, I'm talking about the poster. I'm talking about the ad, the 30-second spot that says, "Congratulations to New World. You had a great launch. When everybody gets your fill, you come. You know where to come."
I have a question for you guys, like MMO guys, like. If it's the launch of a giant MMO thing and there aren't server problems, does it, like, are you disappointed? Is part of you like,
yes,
it's not as big of an event because things aren't falling apart?
The long queue times and the overpopulation adds to the Wild West feeling of chaos that I chase. I live for MMO launches. I live for them.
I knew you'd have my back on
I've had sad moments because I'm really into New World and I want to check it out. But I've had moments like late at night when I'll finish an edit and I'll be like, I should jump on New World, and be like, I can't. It's too big. It's too far away.
I feel like every brand new MMO does go through that, and it's absolutely true. Yeah. Less so when it comes to like expansions, though.
Yeah,
it's like after it was 14, after Heaven's Ward had like Stormblood had a really rough like launch, like a lot of errors, like a lot of like story content you couldn't even get into even once you got in.
That's not fun.
Shadowbringers having like virtually no issues was like, oh man, this is like good, because everyone was expecting like the apocalypse.
That's why I can't tell. Like, have they done enough good? Because this is such an awesome game. Not only how they handle the community, but like what I've heard about the story and like how rewarding it is, like to go through all of it. Have they earned enough good graces from their community? Do you think people are gonna be like, if it doesn't work, you're trying your best, or has it been so long that they're like, you got to get? We would think you would have all of your ducks in a row.
Them being very proactive about getting the messaging out there that like they're trying and stuff, but like and they're doing all these other things to try and even just increase current capacity. Obviously, there'll be players who are still unhappy no matter what, but I think as long as it's not long term, like it's just like that week where it's kind of rough, maybe that is probably like gonna get a pass, because so many people like they at least warned us. They told us this was gonna happen. They weren't like, we're prepared, we're fully prepared, we're excited, and it happens like, we didn't anticipate this level of like enthusiasm. We're so the usual PR message, like,
we didn't anticipate this.
Yeah, like we were so much love and respect because
thank you for your patience.
If anything, like if you're lucky, it'll be like Carmageddon. Remember that when like for months they were like the 405 is gonna be shut down, it's gonna be hell on earth, and then like no one drove and it was heavenly.
So this was when one of the for anybody who was not in Southern California at the time, this is a major chunk of freeway in California that was going to be completely shut down, and everybody thought it was just going to be the end of the world.
They were warning us.
So none of us went anywhere, and it was fine.
I drove on Carmageddon, and it was the greatest thing that's ever happened.
People had a great time on Instagram taking pictures on the freeway. Like, it was fun. Those were the days when we thought, like, whoa, this is going to really impact society. Haha. So this is this it? Is this it, Damian? That's it.
This is the end game.
It's probably Goaty.
This is the Avengers Endgame moment.
Yeah. Probably Goaty.
I got only 3 games for December. One of them's a joke.
I think you missed one.
One of them's for just of us for the chuckle. All right, hit me. What you got?
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it, but the Pokemon.
Oh, I did. Yes. No. I went straight to Endwalker, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl in November.
No.
Correct. On the Switch. I got it. It's on my list.
He was like,
I'm looking at everything around there. It's probably something I'll be spending time with. Like, I don't know if I'll finish it. I didn't finish the Eevee
Let's Go Pikachu
one. I didn't finish Let's Go, But
Let's Go is cute.
It's funny because I'm not that invested in Pokemon, so I see all this blowback against when it was revealed and like all the way it looks and stuff. Like, I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it
what
looks
do we know? Yeah,
like what I would expect that game to look like if you made it in 3D and kept the art style the same, and
people are more.
It's not some radical reinvention.
Now, I think after its more recent showings, it's like the sentiment's improved. I feel like.
I mean, I saw a lot of people talking shit on Far Cry 6 for being the same game it was 10 years ago. I wonder why they don't have that same criticism for Pokemon. It's weird.
They do, and
They
buy it
absolutely
anyway.
do.
No, I mean, that has
very,
That's
very
like-
hard.
I feel like the
criticism.
two constants
Yeah.
are Pokemon and Call of Duty getting
Yeah.
that criticism.
Yeah.
And Madden. Like, it's like, well,
Dude,
Madden
Pokemon
But
fits-
Pokemon still reviews well is my
Yeah, they
argument.
literally get the picket sign from out of the
They-
closet
they
with like
review so well
cobwebs
still.
on it that just says like change the format. And
I
they're
don't.
like,
I don't think the last Pokemon reviewed that well.
I don't think they really care so much
They
about the
don't, yeah.
reviews anymore when they're just like
They're two
making so
different
much money.
universes.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like almost too big to fail, kind of, because
It is. It truly
even
is.
if people hate it, they're gonna buy it anyways.
Truly.
80 on Metacritic. Sword.
80.
yeah.
There it is.
I'm gonna be so old school in December. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond's gonna be playing. Which I have, Diamond or Pearl? Which one should I play? I don't know.
I
Maybe
played
Diamond.
original Diamond.
Something about Diamond.
Yeah.
I gotta pick Diamond over Pearl. And I'm also gonna be playing at the beginning of December Advance Wars 1+2 reboot
Yeah.
game on the 3rd.
Yeah, that's fun.
Advance Wars Pokemon Diamond.
right.
I'm gonna be chilling in December.
Let's just point out how weird it was. It was not even mentioned in the most recent Direct. That
Right.
big Nintendo Direct.
Right.
Game about fall, winter titles. It's legitimately one of their bigger ones. It's like, we're not even going to say its name in this
Yeah.
40-minute presentation. It's like, okay, sure. So like, I really hope it does well. It is a really good game. It is very deserving of getting like a big revival thanks on Switch. I really hope that still happens. But hopefully Nintendo has some kind of last-minute marketing push for it in the next month or two, because it was really shocking. It was just completely neglected in the last Direct.
I think maybe. I think in some ways it's sort of a known quantity. It's like, once they revealed it, okay, we know what it's going to be. They showed a lot of gameplay at E3.
Yeah.
And without a whole lot of other new features, I feel like they might be smart to kind of like hold things close until it's almost out, and then okay, here we go. We're gonna give you a little
Accelerate.
bit more. We're gonna start reminding you that this is on the way in December.
Yeah.
Because I think if you already know those games, there's not a whole lot new to know. It just looks
I don't
like
think
the
there's a
same
lot
maps
going on.
and-
Yeah. Just but
I
those
think
two
that's
games.
Yeah.
the thing, though, is they need to make more people who aren't familiar with it aware
Right.
of it. And that, like, there's a lot
Maybe.
of eyeballs on a Direct. A lot of outlets pick it up and stuff. That's why everyone says, like, oh, you should still try and beat E3 because you'll get picked up by all these major outlets and stuff. Doing your own little event on the side, like, no one covers it. So just them, I mean, obviously people follow them on social media, so people will still see if they do, like, oh, here's a cool final, like, trailer, or here's, like, one new feature we're adding to it that wasn't in the previous version. Like, check it out. I mean, they can even
I
just
think,
do,
I
like,
think
a...
there could still be
could do
a
another-
Direct in November sometime.
They can even just do
Yeah.
like a Treehouse Live. They've done like individual ones at random times. So, yeah.
Let me drive tanks around my Animal Crossing island. There's a lot of things, some crossover
Thanks
potential.
to your Animal Crossing Island. What's going
We
on
got
there?
him. We got him. He's in. He's buying it tonight. Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition is on Switch on December 3rd.
Wait a minute.
That thing looks rough.
Is that your way to
Held
seriously?
up. Wait a minute.
to do it for that.
I put it
Of
on the
all
list
the
just like
things.
as a joke.
Yeah,
Isn't that with Aladdin and stuff?
All right,
Genesis?
hit
it's
me
like-
with
it's
your
like-
best
it's
shot.
like
Yo,
Bobby.
Shinji
It's
Mikami, dude, Aladdin.
no,
no, it's like
wrong
your
thing.
Mii's walking around.
Yeah, no,
or
it's
like Miitopia with
It's
like
Meet- it's Miitopia at the Disney
it's
theme
so,
parks. Yeah, it's not.
what
No,
the
it's
hell
not.
is this?
No.
It's a 2, so
It's
like
dude.
I missed.
Pulling the
Dude,
ripcord.
But your me looks
Well,
so
look at the
different.
games I got for December. I had to bring it up. It's like, come on. Because we only got one more
what's-
game on the whole list.
Yeah, I think what's funny is having the
Oh,
two.
no.
yeah.
Oh, this
Like-
is cursed.
yes.
Your
Yes.
me is like a thoroughly different art style.
This game is cursed.
It is
This needs to at least be a
unhinged.
picture-in-picture, Brandon.
Holy
Get the
shit.
screenshot to Brandon.
Can
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yeah, just send me that link in Slack.
I'll send it to you.
Speaking of, we
Because they
never
gotta see
changed
that.
the back.
We didn't. Yeah, it's the old Easy Alex
Oh,
logo
we
on
can
the
do
back
it
there.
during the thing.
This is what happens whenever you see the old school Easy logo. That means we did some previews.
We shot
before
something
the
right before,
podcast.
yeah.
We were talking about some of the Well, I'll tell you, Huber, Battlefield 2042 better make a really good impression, because on December 8th,
Yeah.
the classic is coming knocking.
The hype is real. I mean, Battlefield's more classic, but
Halo
that's
Infinite,
cool.
which I hear is going to be on that Xbox.
Yeah,
And on
man,
that
I've
PC.
seen such good things. I didn't know the grappling hook was a pickup. I thought everyone had a grappling hook.
Oh,
Oh,
It's actually
that's
a pickup.
crazy. Oh.
interesting.
In
Yeah.
Halo?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's at least what a
It's like an
tweet
equipment pickup?
said. I have not played
Yeah.
the game. It was a
Okay.
tweet
I mean,
that
that could-
said that.
Okay.
One
Can-
one added mode could change that in a second, but who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. My God, every single Twitter clip I've seen of this has been amazing.
People are so hungry to get
I've
more
seen
and
some
more of this
grappling
game.
hook clips, yeah.
Yeah.
This game could go so many ways because I'm hearing good stuff, but then again, like there's so many bells and whistles to like making all of that work. There's potential because it's free to play means it could be bigger than ever, or it could means people would be tired of it in a weekend and move on to something else. This campaign could be incredible. Could really, really be amazing. Like I could see us just coming after the end of like 3 or 4 days, and all of us getting together and just like, wow, there were so many incredible moments. It's just like clearly they were polishing it right up until the very end, and we're just so terrified to show anything because it was so open world. It was hard to like find that one slice. Because I've definitely seen some open world demos that were just very choreographed, and
Right.
It just doesn't really capture kind of what they're going for. Yeah. Or it could totally fall apart like a House of Cards. I don't know. I wanted to win, like I'm watching a baseball movie. Like I wanted to hit a home run.
I'm not too big on Halo 4 and 5 campaigns, but this multiplayer looks fantastic. Like the best since 3.
A quick Googling does appear to corroborate that the grapple shot is a pickup, yeah.
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 I think the one thing that, definitely gives me some pause is them saying that they're delaying co-op. And after, the long year delay that they already had to do. And so it just makes me wonder, like, okay, was that the choice they needed to make everything come together? Or does that mean that they're still like, we need all the time we can get because this is rough? So...
Yeah, Devil's Advocate would say they're just trying to be super smart. Like they're approaching this like they wouldn't produce, other games because it's so important to the brand that they're just like, we can't, I imagine if there was like, I could see him coming into like Phil's office and there's like, yes, we had this like weird co-op glitch. And he's like, kill it. And they're like, what? Whoa, no, we're fixing it right now. And he's just like, nothing can go wrong. Like we have to, anything that's going to be in there, we cannot cyberpunk this.
It feels like they're all in on multiplayer, and because it looks so good and they know it's good, then that buys them so long for the campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see this campaign coming out November next year. I could see it being that long. Like, why do you need to rush it if everyone is enjoying your multiplayer?
Well, it comes with the campaign, right? It's just the co-op.
Well, the multiplayer is free to play, and then the game itself is the campaign, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So wait, it's
Which is
launching
Game
with
Pass.
the campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But there's
okay.
not launching
No co-op.
Co-op.
campaign.
You can only play the
A
game
lot of
by
people
yourself.
play
know.
Halo co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's on Game Pass too, so it's like all free if you have that.
So is December 8th going to be like an important day for Halo, or is this going to be like, no, we're just all talking about it next year and everybody's playing it? And
No, it's
if
very,
you've got an
very
Xbox,
important
it's
there.
it's already installed. You can play it.
What if it's Goaty? Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Halo.
It
Because-
misses the Game of the Year cutoff though, doesn't it? Or the Game Awards. I
For
mean?
the Game Awards, yeah. Like the Game Awards are like the next day or something.
Gotta
Middle
send
of
a code
November,
to
yeah.
Keely
November
stat.
15th, I think, is the cutoff
Yeah.
or something.
That it has been, yeah, mid-November somewhere.
Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker not making the cutoff, unfortunately.
It's an expansion. I don't think Keely.
No, I think
It'd be on
Shadow ongoing
Best
game.
ongoing game.
Was it?
in there.
Yeah, there's ongoing, but I meant for like the main.
But I think he was
category.
in a main category too.
Oh.
Destiny
of those
Destiny 2's
Game
really
Awards
got that
hasn't been
ongoing
very
game
nice
locked
to
down.
Final Fantasy 14 though.
Yeah, it does.
It's a Resident Evil movie trailer today and dropped.
Woo!
Where you just type in that rundown for the podcast and just like and you check Slack like, oh, okay, I'll add that one in there. Watch that video. Turns out I had to watch 2 videos.
Yeah, strange.
There were 2 vastly different trailers for this film that both dropped on the same day.
Kind of 3.
Kind of
It's for
3.
all
There's
the
a weird
TikTok,
social
Twitter
text one.
youngins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day. Yeah.
One is vastly different from the other and way better. One
I
of
agree.
them is like, there you go. That's it looks like an exciting horror film. The other one makes some interesting creative decisions.
Yeah.
Should we just start with that? Should we just start with that song? So anybody who hasn't seen it, who's maybe media blackout, and I had to check with Huber, I wasn't sure.
Oh, I'm watching
you
all
were
the
gonna be watching
trailers
all this
for
stuff.
I already know the plot.
I don't know if when I say what's and spoilers, What's Up by the 4 Non-Blondes. I don't know if I say that track and you can hear it in your head. Do you know if
Sense8.
before today?
Big dub.
Oh, was that a big Sense8 track?
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just think of He-Man.
I said, hey, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That song.
It's been stuck in my head all day now because
Right.
of
Yeah.
this trailer.
Well, you tried to get it stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head again now, obviously, because we're talking about it. But you were marching around singing it.
I do it unconsciously. I don't even know.
That in Resident Evil, And I like that challenge sometimes with songs for trailers. I'm like, okay, interesting pick. Okay. And then I listen to the lyrics like, no, I'm not. What's going on is the only thing that, like, yes, Claire and Leon like might be confused. They might be wondering what is Umbrella doing here in Raccoon City.
Yeah.
You're climbing up that great big hill called life, Jones.
Right. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that was a bad trailer. That was a bad song. I'm still excited for the movie.
Liked it. I'm excited.
It didn't bother me.
I'm excited as shit.
Holy cow.
I lived through the Mila Jovovich movies, and I saw every single one of those, obviously, being Resident Evil. And as time went on, they just got worse and worse and worse, and pretty much had nothing to do with the games. When they were all over, though, my favorite part of them was Mila Jovovich, who was just a character made up for those movies. And Resident Evil Apocalypse, the one with Nemesis, is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, the phrase, it could always be worse, I kind of live by. I don't think you can get worse than...
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really don't think you can get worse than that.
Yeah.
So, like, the only way to go is up with these games. And for so many years when those Mila Jovovich movies were out, everyone was like, just do the games. Like, do the games. Make it like the games. And, like, that's what they're doing, but like still so many people are pissed. And I don't know, I'm just going in with like no expectations and also nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because we already lived through all of those movies. There's also all of the anime movies, which are canon for the game. So if you want your fix there, like there's no stakes and nothing to lose. So I don't really understand the backlash.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
There's no stakes. She said if the zombies get out, they can destroy the world.
With that being said, the CG is
horrible.
Horrible. And I think, though, that shows how low budget this movie is, which also is shocking because the other movies made over $1 billion. It's one of the highest grossing franchises ever. So for this movie to be so low budget, I think that's what's throwing people off. Also, the plot details that Wesker and Jill are in a relationship is very concerning. I don't know if that's a rumor that has gotten...
That has to be a rumor.
I don't know if that's been blown out of proportion, but I've seen that...
He does such fucked up shit to her.
I've seen that take all over the internet, and I still have yet to know if that is 100% confirmed or not.
My thing with this is the bar, my expectations are... rock bottom basement, so low. Just the fact that they know to make an Itchy Tasty reference, or like they're doing the zombie over the shoulder thing, and like there are clear, like RPD looks awesome. The gas truck flipping over, like they're doing a bunch of stuff. Like the CG looks horrible, but like at the very least they're at least doing things from the stuff, They've at least played the games, which with the other movies, I'm like, have you even seen a Resident Evil game before?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
I remember in one of the Resident Evil movies, they added the big, like, executioner from 5.
Like a bathroom fight or
Afterlife,
shower
maybe?
fight. Yeah, it was like, in all the trailers to get you so hyped, and it's like, this was bad. The movie was so bad.
I want to spoil it so bad.
Claire's jacket looks really good.
It was in the trailer. In the Resident Evil movies, Wesker is president of the United States. I don't understand why there's so much hate for this.
Sir Jorah
you
Mormont.
Cannot get worse.
Well, I think the thing for me, Huber, is that it's like they're not doing justice to the important work that is Resident Evil. It's like this is one of the goofiest games. This is one of the games that like I can't believe I thought it was scary at all going back because it's just like some of the goofiest performances in all of them. RE1, RE2, which I love RE2, but like it's ridiculous, and like and especially RE3, and they look like they're kind of jamming all 1, 2, and 3 all into the same movie.
And Code Veronica reference as well.
So like I'm not going to reference. Lisa's the only thing. Like Lisa, they could potentially do a worse job than they did in remake because Lisa chilled me to the bone. Like that whole plot line and encountering her and her story and all that was like, whoa, the series grew up. Whoa, like that was really, really disturbing. And so I'm curious to see what they do with her. Everybody else, like
she looks gnarly, and
Chris
like
Redfield
makeup.
looks so Chris Redfield. It's hilarious, and he's just. It is what it is. It's a popcorn game. It's gonna be hopefully a popcorn movie. I'm
love the cast. I love a lot of these actors. Donald Logue as Irons.
Neil McDonough as Birkin.
McDonough as Birkin. Tom Hooper as Wesker could be sick. And Kay Escalero is one of my favorite actors in the biz. So like her being Claire just like has me. It just has me, and I'm
She
just
seems very
so
committed.
ready. I'm so in.
When she says you're experimenting on him, she's all tears are welling up in her eyes.
love
She's into it.
Yeah.
The Ashford twins are teased a little bit.
So weird.
Yeah.
So
Little bit.
weird. Yeah,
Little
what a
Ashford
weird.
twins from Code Veronica.
And like
a little bit
Birkin was there.
He like pushes the film reel aside and it's like, that's it, Ashford twins.
That was weird.
It's weird though, like with the trailer, the order of events seems backwards. It's like they're doing 2, then into 1, then into
Right.
Code Veronica, then into
Yeah.
It's like it's cool. It's
Which
exciting.
again, surprised me.
Yeah, exactly.
2 Remake did.
I-
They switched some stuff around.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I wonder if they'll keep Nemesis for a sequel, even though the events are in this movie kind of all happening at the same time.
End of the credits.
Yeah. I
Well, the
wonder.
helicopter that crashes for Mr. X is there, so like who knows, man? Who knows? Also, God, the Birkin CG scuffed.
The Birkin CG is actually offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's so poor.
Well, because we're at the point where like the game, it's like the whole point of movies back in the day was like, we can see these things realized at a fidelity never before imagined.
Well, they
It's
also
like, no, dude, that
whoever
looks
cut-
worse than in
The RE
game.
engine looks better than that. Yeah,
Whoever
by far.
Cut that trailer though, it's like they knew because it was
very
so
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
gone
So fast.
before you could recognize
Have
what
you-
what
Part of
was
me
that.
hopes it's not done yet. Part of me hopes it's like
Yeah.
placeholder CG.
Have
That
you
happens a lot.
seen
Yeah, it
the
does.
famous cosplay of Birkin?
No.
Just a dude
Yeah.
in a suit.
I know what the eye like it's crazy.
Like,
Practical. You go your
Yeah,
practical
I'm
route.
not even kidding. It's a 10. It's incredible. Just Google like Birkin cosplay.
I mean, think
It's
about
so-
the thing, dude. Like,
Yeah.
do thing prosthetics,
Yeah.
just make it wet, make it
Dude,
dark.
a big wet
Done.
eyeball
Yeah, exactly,
shrouded in
exactly,
darkness.
exactly.
Totally.
You
Yeah.
know what that like brief glimpse of it though reminds me of? It reminds me of like one of those blow up muscle costumes.
Yeah, it totally does.
It looked like a Japanese live action CG, like from like the old
But it
Death
kind-
Note. It looks so.
it kind of looks like it's not
Japanese
lit.
Death
Like it
Note,
does
like,
have that placeholder dark
The
vibes.
gamma's
So
well, it's too
cheesy.
bright. The gamma's way far.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
when you look at a lot of, it was funny. I hadn't
The
seen a lot of
dog
those.
looks rough.
I hadn't seen a
Yeah.
lot of those Endgame deleted scenes. So I'm like going back and watched a lot of stuff with Thor and Rocket, and it's funny. Rocket's just like like,
So
like,
weird.
no lips
Yeah.
moving. They just kind of put him in like here's where he's gonna be,
Yeah.
and then we'll worry about all that later.
Dude,
so.
that's the other thing. I was talking about this with Sophia this morning. The Four Non-Blondes version, the editing is real weird. It makes me a little nervous because there's a whole lot of stuff where it's like they have someone saying a line and then they cut to that person, but they're clearly not saying that line. It's like it's like not matched up. And it's like, okay, either that's covering for like bad coverage or weird editing, or they're just doing like weird movie magic for the trailers to like not show you locations.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's that, but like it's always a bit of a red flag
Yeah.
when you're like you're not showing anyone actually saying this stuff in the entire
It's funny.
trailer.
You can actually see Claire. You actually have both shots because you can see Claire say one line where she says they're experimenting on them, and then it's like a different shot in the other trailer. And so sometimes,
Yeah.
like these poor trailer houses. Sometimes, like movie houses are just so insane, and they're just like, I want a close up on her, and it's like
Yeah.
she's mid shit. You can see her. She's fine, and it's like I need a close up. It's like we don't have a close up of her saying that. It's like then just put a close up in, and like how am I gonna do that? I guess I'll just put it at the end, and that syllable will kind of match maybe. And
but the other trailer just the non-Four Non-Blondes version sets everything up so much better. Like the slow intro with the truck and like everyone's names. Like here's who's everybody. Like when I first saw the trailer, I thought Tom Hooper was playing Chris because he just looks like Chris.
Yeah, he totally does.
So yeah, it's crazy.
My biggest hope is that we're swimming in sevens and you feel the passion and the desire from the filmmaking. You feel that they are trying to honor the games. If I come out and I'm thinking, man, they tried, they went for it, like it was fine, it was good, like that will be such a win. That is like the most hope I have for it.
I just think it's surprises. I just think like if they are like, haha, look, RE3, here it comes. I'll be like, oh, fun. Like, yeah,
It's out of nowhere. I'm worried about the CG for Nemesis,
Oh my
though,
God.
dude. Like maybe hold off for the sequel.
It better just be a dude, right?
Yeah, at that point, it's like get a buff guy.
but it's like if Halloween Horror Nights was getting a Resident Evil maze, and it'd be like, great, yeah, that'll be fun. The final Super Smash Brothers character has been announced, and it is Sora, and we have talked about it so much here at Easy
Extensively.
Outlines.
End of an era.
Sorry if I just spoiled for people. I didn't know what it was. Well, it's Sora. If you want to get more information about that, you can watch our reactions. You can watch Friend Code. You can watch Huber Syndrome. Is there anything else we can add to the Easy Allies podcast that has not been said about this character?
I think we've said it all.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of Stream Team a little bit too.
Launches October 18th. 82 characters in total. 82 characters.
Well, 89, but
89? Oh.
yeah, because that was in the direct. But
Yeah.
he was counting also the characters that count as multiple. So like
Gotcha.
the
Pokemon
Pokemon
trainer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just that.
Kyra and Mithra.
Over 1,100 songs.
1,100.
Calculating how many CDs that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
1,100.
I'm just really
songs.
bummed no Donald and Goofy, because so much of Sora's, and this has been said, but so much of Sora's identity is the power of friendship,
Sure.
the power of loyalty, the power of bonds. So not having that, for as much as I yelled and screamed and wanted Sora over the years, only going halfway does kind of take the wind out of my sails a little bit.
You get his other friends, his other playable
Totally.
characters, but it's
That's all.
it's noticeable.
It's
but it's also
noticeable.
at the same point it's obvious
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Well,
And it's a fair compromise
But-
to get Sora
but
in there, I
Magical
suppose.
Quest 2 exists.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Cursed game over here.
I mean, because this game involves multiple crossover
Right.
characters, so like
All
Disney's
that
probably
Magical
like,
Quest money is going into
yeah,
Disney's pocket.
Yeah.
but-
Not only was like the negotiation took forever to get in there, they're also like looking at what else is in that game. They're like, do we want anything of ours associated with any of these other products? So it's like that must have been
I
like
suppose. I
I
suppose.
think, and then like
It was Bayonetta, wasn't
yeah.
it?
They're just like, as somebody who has like been around like people babysitting and stuff, like there is so much atrocious like official Disney thing.
That's a different era though.
No, like new stuff, like the stuff they make for toddlers.
Oh, you mean
It's-
now?
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, well,
just
that's physical merchandise. I mean, maybe they're two different. Like
I'm talking about
know.
shows. I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't watch any of the new stuff. Yeah.
But it's so that's what I mean. It's like you haven't really been protective of making sure everything's high quality. This is obviously would be high quality,
Yeah.
so
Strange.
it's just this weird, it's this weird marketing like
Where I
image thing of
Yeah.
Well, that-
I couldn't get fully hyped, and that's I feel horrible because it's like, dude, they're giving you fucking Sora
Here's your answer.
in Smash Brothers.
Donald-
like, I'm disgusted at myself for feeling this way, but it is still such a part of his character.
Right.
Donald Goofy getting punched. There's the thing. That's it right there. And I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I would think
Yeah.
though
Like,
that they would be a final
yeah.
smash or
Yeah.
something, or they
Like-
would be in the windows at the very least. you
Yeah,
know?
would love that. Man, Blood, it might not have been off the table. It might have just been the money. And Nintendo like, we're only
Sure.
willing to spend this much. And they're like, well, if you want, here's the Donald and Goofy package. Here, what are those key tiers or whatever? Here, what are those new passes or whatever? Yeah. Nintendo opted for like the lowest tier one. Just
They have to make an extra fighter pass just
yeah,
just to
Donald
raise
and
the
Goofy are on the
price.
blackout dates. You couldn't get them.
I mean, of course. Like, I could just hear that conversation where it's like, oh, and we were wondering if like a Mickey could show up, and it's like, oh, we would love that. That would be really great. That'll be,
That'll be
8 times what we were already gonna pay us. And like,
How
oh,
many zeros?
There'll
would
be
that matter?
20%.
But it just shows
royalties,
you like how different Disney is from like the other 81 or like, obviously it's not those all the properties because a lot of those are Nintendo characters, but it's just like that's the thing that's so impressive to me about, because I don't want to talk about sort of like abilities and all that stuff. We'll cover those in other shows, and but I want to talk about it being done because it's fascinating. You imagine all the phone calls. Like, no two property owners were the same. It's like every time they'd get on the horn and just be like, okay, here's what they look like. Here's how they move. Here's the ideas that we had, and just like some people I'm sure were totally chill and just like, yes, this is great. And other people were like, no, we're gonna go over again and again. Every time he says like, hey, I want to say thanks to Disney or whoever for working with us back and forth. I'm like, ooh, there's got to be some stories.
Like, I wonder how
long it took.
I wonder how that all went down.
Like in Disney Infinity, when they had to like make those figures, like I was just barely scratching at some of that. Like, when the cameras were off, and I was just like, okay, how to, like how crazy was Lucas when they had to deal with all this stuff? And it's wild what is necessary for a brand and what people will insist on. So I
Yeah.
can't believe they pulled it off.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest announcement from the the biggest announcement of all of the extra characters past launch in terms of like, oh, I want this one.
I think
like
Dragon
Surprise.
Quest was pretty big.
Cloud was technically for Wii U 3DS, so that would have been an older one. I mean, Dragon Quest was probably huge in
Dragon
Japan.
Quest, exactly, yeah.
Might have been bigger than Sora in Japan.
Sephiroth was awesome.
But like
Yeah.
Sora, they revealed finally the truth that Sora won the Smash Brothers poll for most
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
But they
Surprise
made it
toilets.
like Sakurai and Iwata decided like we don't want to reveal these because we don't want to like cause issues because people are like it's just gonna put even more pressure on this if they knew like who got first with Sora getting first
Or raise the prices more.
yeah. But also like there was no one else who came in but higher than Sora. It's like there really was no one else. Like no one else was more requested.
Well, one thing I was thinking that might be fun that I don't know if we'll have time to do, but I just want to go through other characters and I just like wonder why they just, especially like Master Chief. It's just like, oh, it'd be so great to bring like somebody from Xbox. Like there'd just be just the fun, like, because it's neat seeing like Mickey shaking Sora's hands like from that image. It's like, oh, I'm not that invested in Smash Brothers, but well, look at what they achieved.
For Doom guy to get in there is
Right,
a Mii fighter.
in any way he could, yeah.
Kratos would have been cool.
Did you
I feel
mean
like if you did
Mario
Master
shaking
Chief
his
though, huh?
What's that?
Did you mean Mario shaking Sora's hand?
Mario, sorry, what did I say?
Mickey.
Yeah, sorry.
Not
Mickey.
I feel like if
pay
you
up.
did Master Chief, you would have had to do a Sony character because like even though I associate Cloud with
Sure.
Sony, it's not Persona 5.
Yeah.
I
Crash Bandicoot.
Yes,
But I checked a
kind
lot of
of.
lists online that were like, oh yeah, what are the more popular? And like Sora was on the top of every single
Yeah.
list. Like they even broke them down by region, and it was like Sora.
I
So-
do think that some way or another they do have a justification of a game being on the Nintendo console for every one of those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why like you couldn't really maybe do Master Chief or Kratos
yeah,
or something
totally.
like that because he's not even like a guest in anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Totally.
but I mean, some of these games don't have like never at the time did not have the mainline entries on there. I mean, when Cloud came out, there was like only
Right.
you could point
But I
to the
think
Game Boy
those
Advance
deals
versions.
were probably as part of the package, you know, like
like
with
Kingdom
the
Hearts now coming out.
Right.
after the
Well,
fact.
Kingdom
That's
Hearts
a
had
whole-
Yeah.
several like DS and all that.
True.
But also with like with Joker, because Persona 5 proper has not come out on any Nintendo
Yeah.
platform, but they did have
They had
other
Scramble in the
spin-offs
works.
that
That's right.
did have Joker in it. So
nice.
I think Solaire was the one that I was like, they could have pretty easily, I think.
That
Yeah.
trailer,
Done
I
that.
I thought it was Dark Souls
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
and I
for
was
the first minute.
I was hoping because I was in my head I was like, someone's gonna sneak up and kill Mario from behind. It's gonna say you
Yeah.
died, and I'm gonna be like,
That would have been so hyped.
Dude, that would have been hype. Yeah, Dark Souls would have been great because, you know, I truly think it's one of the most influential games of the last decade, easily. So it would have fit
I think
so
the trailer
well.
makes more sense now, like knowing that was sort of what was going on in the beginning, because worlds in Kingdom Hearts fall to darkness and they can be like reawakened.
Yeah.
So it's like that was what was happening with the fire going out. So the world went back to darkness or whatever, and they were all lifeless. And then the flame was like the sensing Sora coming through and like calling for Sora to come wake because the keys open
Bonds.
the
Bonds.
doors between
Bonds.
worlds. Yeah, the Mario and
so
Sora
hype,
bond.
So hype. I know, I'm all bummed Donald and Goofy aren't there, but as soon as we play as Sora, can I just forget about it?
Gotta get about music in there.
Yeah.
Even and then they said the victory fanfare version of Hand in Hand is actually a new arrangement. So
I like how you started this with like, we don't have anything else to say. We've been talking for 15 minutes.
End of an era. I mean, to me, Ultimate's one of the now one of the most important games ever made. Like, this is a celebration of
It's
our entire
wild, yeah.
industry.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was saying the other day on Twitter. It's like,
It's one of the best.
because you know, like in the back of your mind, you know that this is something that Nintendo is almost has to keep doing from like a business perspective. But the commitment to be like, we're going to treat this game like we're never going to make another one. We're going to
Yeah.
go all out. We're gonna
All
get
out.
everything we can in here. You know, and it's like whoever has to follow that up, whether it's Sakurai or somebody else, it's like good luck because there's almost nothing left that could shock you
No,
at this point.
nothing.
Because even if they got a Master Chief, even if they got a Nathan
Now it's
Drake or
expected,
something like
yeah.
yeah, you expect something that's at that level.
they'd
Yeah.
have to go to Fortnite levels.
Pop
Anything-
culture,
anything-
everything's on the table.
Yeah, but even
Yeah.
that, it's like, well, people even want that, you know?
Yeah.
Liza
Other than
Minnelli.
Goku.
I bet one of the, that Goku was probably up there somewhere.
Yeah.
Naruto.
Naruto on the list.
Bonds.
Yeah.
That final smash.
Dude, Sora and Naruto palling around. Yo, I've Googled Sora and Naruto fan art. Don't judge me.
Fortnite had such a specific style that the Fortnite version of Liza Minnelli just locked itself in my brain when you said that. Like I just pictured, like literally, I booted up my PS5 and she's just there. Like I'm like, oh, Liza, that's great.
Maybe this time.
That's great.
I will
it's
say one.
solo. Yeah.
Sparkling.
I will say one of the things that's that's also interesting about it is we just got that that Nickelodeon game this week.
Yeah.
And none of us. It just shows it seems like it's simple, but no, there was so much
PlayStation
work.
All Stars.
I didn't even
that
pay
stuff.
attention to who was in that
Play
Nickelodeon
well.
game, and then we booted the game up, and I was like, "Wait, is this it?" And I'm like, "No, this is the cast you start with, and then you unlock more characters." Like, I can't believe their
Immediately boring,
own
that game.
properties.
Yeah.
They weren't able to.
Yeah.
It's like just Reptar. I asked Amanda when I went home. I'm like, only one Rugrats character. Guess who? She's like, Reptar. I'm like, well, yeah, but why did you? Wow. She's like, it's obviously Reptar. It's a character in a fighting game. I'm like, okay.
I think there is a video game in Rugrats where you play as Reptar, if my memory is correct.
Dude, there's some good Rugrats video games.
Yeah.
For
no, but
sure.
in the show.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of big franchises, a new Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon game was announced this week.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Log pause. Yeah.
What's it called? What's it called, Huber?
Like Breakpoint something.
What was the Medal of Honor called on PS2?
Frontline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Frontline.
Ghost
Papers,
Recon
please.
Frontline.
So sick.
A 100-player, free-to-play, first-person shooter. Testing starts on October 14th. And then later that's going to be on Luna, Stadia, because they love them.
Yeah, they do.
When Ubisoft bails on Stadia, that's the final nail in the coffin. That's when you know.
When is
that's
this
when you know those
launching? I'm
deals
sorry, I
are going
missed it.
south. The testing will start on October 14th.
Okay.
So Luna, PS4, PS5, Stadia, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It's from Ubisoft Bucharest. Did the Hawks games.
Oh, wow.
HAWX Hawks.
Wow.
And co-developed, worked on, assisted on other Clancy titles, but free-to-play, 100-player first-person shooter. Woo! Ghost Recon. Yeah.
Seems like a good match, but I would have preferred The Division for Battle Royale.
The Division is getting Heartland.
It's getting Heartland, and it obviously had like the mode in 1 that was similar to a Battle Royale, which they had held off from putting into 2, probably because they're making this game, Jones. That's just my theory on it. I don't know. I didn't really like the John Bernthal Ghost Recon.
That's interesting way to label that one. It's
Yeah.
Like the joke- oh, right.
Yeah.
No converging circle.
Zero hype, right? Like I'm freezing cold right now.
Because
That's
this is a major
Wait a
initiative
minute,
of
wait a
Ubisoft.
minute.
They're doing this to
Yeah.
all their franchises: Assassin's Creed Infinity, X Defiant. Like there's just a lot of service type stuff going from Ubisoft.
This
sure they're excited about all
It's
of it.
interesting that this does play differently though, because
Yeah.
they're saying so you go around with your squad and you like collect intel and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it
then
seems like a good.
once players are done collecting intel, they will then have to head to the drop zone and call for extraction.
Right. You can interrogate downed enemies to learn where like their teammates are, which is kind of cool.
Fortnite, same thing.
Oh, is that the new?
That's in Fortnite?
The new mode, the spy mode.
You can
that they
like
just did.
shake a NPC in it, like enter a player, and
Ah.
it pings. Yeah.
That's fun.
And that's just one mode. They've got
Expedition
modes.
is 100 plus players fighting
Yeah.
as teams of 3. They said, quote, the game will be built on core Ghost Recon values. And I think that's maybe the problem that I have, which is I'm not sure what those are.
right.
So
Friendship.
I know what those used to be. I'm going to get this one that's just like
Get
right
it.
in front of you.
Thank you.
You have
What
so
are
many,
all
you have so
these
many
hairs?
wild
What the
hairs. You're
hell?
shedding.
Those all
You're
mine?
shedding.
What the
I
hell?
can't get it. There it is.
goodness. The idea of a fully stealth battle royale, I guess, is maybe where I could get excited for this.
This is not that.
You know, covering yourself with mud, hiding in a tree, taking someone out. Because the idea of, again, the pace of Ghost Recon lends itself well to Battle Royale. Scavenging, exploring. So yeah, I'm kind of a wait and see here.
The fans are not. Most Ghost
Everyone's
Recon fans
pissed?
are not. Yeah, not really into
Yeah.
this.
Sure.
I've not run a poll. I've not done percentages. I have scrolled pretty far down past the announcement on Twitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are not.
Not into it. Not into it.
Lots of read the room. Lots
Yeah.
of did not want. Lots of
Do
just
not
like
want.
what in the world.
Feels so unnecessary. Totally.
But this is just kind of This is kind of where the dev is at, where these teams are at.
Scale it back, Ubisoft. Holy shit.
interesting that we know a lot about this. Heartland has been announced. We don't know a lot about Heartland. Like
free to play
kinda,
Midwest as opposed to New York.
But this is like announced now. It's happening now, and like Heartland was. I have to be reminded about that.
I got my eye on that one. I love the Division.
Yeah. The Division is one of those things that even kind of past all of these really strong like prisons of Ubisoft systems still kind of managed to be fun. Like it still managed to like all the systems made sense. So could possibly work, but man, fans are not happy.
Yeah.
Twitch was hacked. Twitch was hacked and downloaded. VGC reported an anonymous hacker posted a 125 gigabyte torrent link with just Twitch, with the whole thing. They posted the post listed the contents as, quote, the entirety of Twitch.tv with comment history going back to its early beginnings, mobile desktop commit history, mobile desktop video game console Twitch clients, various proprietary SDKs and internal AWS services used by Twitch, every other property that Twitch owns, including IGDB and CurseForge, an unreleased Steam competitor from Amazon Game Studios, Twitch SOC internal red teaming tools, LOL. I don't know why that might be some coding joke. I don't know why those are fun specifically. They hacked this to, quote, foster more disruption and competition in the online video streaming space.
Which is a funny thing to say considering Mixer had advantages over Twitch.
Just didn't take off.
And people didn't care.
Competition is essential.
People just didn't care. So it's not that, you just need to know how Twitch works and you can make a better one. Like that's not going to do it.
Yeah, no one wants it.
Yeah.
Like you can't no one's going to make a better, bigger YouTube. It's just not going to happen. At least not for a while. Mm-hmm. We don't need it.
Twitch said they knew what was happening. They're working with urgency to understand the extent of it, and obviously this is not affecting performance on Twitch. This is something that makes you nervous. I know you're fairly invested in Twitch, how it runs with updates and stuff like that. Damiani, is any of this?
No, I mean, people are obvious concern. People are pointing out is that, but I mean, obviously, you can't, as Isla said, even if they wanted to legally, no one could take the code and just like make their own version of Twitch with this. That's like not what's going to happen. What is going to happen potentially that people are concerned about is that people now can see they have access to source code. They can see where vulnerabilities are and like down the line do stuff that is like underneath, slips past them to do something more maliciously intended. Because it seems like from this, they weren't leaking like credit cards. It sounds like the accounts in the end weren't actually compromised.
Salaries was something that they said if you want to know how much your favorite Twitch streamers make, which is like I doubt fans would be shocked or care.
It's like
really.
Emails weren't like
found. People have been going through and comparing all that stuff.
Yeah, people are going crazy.
Yeah, so
about that.
the other part of it, the salary is
what
but as far as like, well, I'm not going to watch them now. I don't see that.
I don't see why
I don't see
it would
it impacting
be surprising.
their careers.
No,
right?
because it's like you can guess how
you can calculate it.
You can figure it out.
Yeah, it's people had it was just like hard confirmation of what people had already suspected or seen through other third-party aggregate sites that just showed you like, here's what we estimate so-and-so makes based off like numbers we can kind of like scrape off their public-facing pages and stuff. It's just a general like at the very like it's very, 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 very hard to make enough money to make a living on Twitch is what it confirmed, because you see like a lot of people's favorite streamers were like so low on like, wait, they only make that much? It's like, oh, okay, that's not like, can't quit your day job for that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
maybe I'll start calling them lazy.
How minuscule the thing was at top, but also the other thing it was showing is that like there's just a very general lack of diversity up at the top. It's like, oh yeah, this is what generally earns the best on here, and then just people being able to now like have that hard tangible paper trail to say like, hey, what could we do about this? Because like Twitch is a platform where it's like the viewers are the ones who are subscribing, the viewers are the ones who are donating, so it's kind of in their hands to like decide
Twitch, they
who
could do
are
a
the
better
biggest
job
ones.
to promote.
Yeah, and that's it goes hand in hand with like
promote and protect.
Yes.
A new thing the thing they announced, like the pay to boost thing, where you could boost visibility. It's like Twitch has made some like questionable things, and like, will this be misused? Will this only make the top tier more like cushioned and like make it harder to break into that higher tier? And as I said, like the protection part of it, it's like yeah, you're making all this money, and like like even for the people who are making a lot of money, like yes, some people do make a lot of money on Twitch, but the percent that Twitch takes, it's like for that money that they're getting, they can't invest in like good protection stuff. Like it's like what? Like it seems a little like suspect possibly.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's totally true. Like anytime Twitch, which already is like owned by Amazon, so it's like
That too.
But anytime Twitch is like, oh, we're working hard, we're trying our best. It's like, are you? Like, you have an army of money and you own all the servers.
Yeah,
like, you could just do this if you
honestly.
cared. Like, but they don't have to care because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think there's still concern about the security of individual people's accounts. Maybe not credit card info because I guess they don't store that, but it's still passwords and such. Even though they apparently aren't in this first release, there's a nebulous part 2 out there,
right?
Or just the fact that they could have that as well and just be not publicly releasing it because they can get more money out of selling it to someone, So there's definitely a lot still to be concerned on, how much more this leak could involve. It's also, again, like you're saying, like, does Twitch care kind of thing? They don't seem to have really notified people.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
All they've done is said, hey, we updated everyone's stream keys. And,
cool.
They didn't tell you why. They left it to you to go figure out why they did that. So it's just so odd. The communication is so lackluster.
Maybe they figured just everybody knows. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
sure, but you shouldn't. That's the point.
This is why I think that internet security, nothing should be stored on servers. Everything should be on floppy disks, like a knock list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Physical paper.
Right, paper cards with the holes.
Sorry, spoiler. That was like in the beginning of Black Widow. They made a joke about that, about physical.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, punch cards.
They shut down all the systems.
Hell yeah.
Back to the hard copy.
Sorry, I had another thought and I just forgot it. Actually, saying that, but yeah, the Twitch can. It's really weird that they wouldn't notify. I have to imagine like maybe the lawyers just said like, hey, actually, like in this situation, we don't have to say anything yet. Like this stuff hasn't like been like confirmed. Like people are still like wondering.
But they have given answers to the press, right? So anything that they would answer to the press, they should be able to tell their users directly.
Maybe they have like a bigger statement coming, and like they want to like be all encompassing. Like you said, there's a nebulous part too. Like we want to know everything before we say anything. And the lawyer's like, you have this deadline. You have to say something publicly by this date, and they're just drafting it. Sorry, the other thing is imagine this like the crazy state of humanity, like how like. Jokes make like if like aliens are gonna destroy the world tomorrow, people will be like, haha, we're gonna tweet it on Twitter and stuff like that. So many people are just like, the number one thing I saw people asking about in the leak goes, oh, does that have the reason Dr. Disrespect was banned? I'm like, this is what some people, that's what they cared about the most. They're like, hey, I don't care. Like, no, security, people's salaries. Like, no, I gotta know that answer, man. Like, it's like, okay.
New development in his case.
It's like, holy crap.
Fascinating week for technology not working as intended. Facebook was out.
Mm-hmm.
Capital O, capital U, capital T. See you later. And still don't know kind of what happened. Like, I don't know how transparent they're going to be about specifically what happened.
Some kind of back-end server, like
one of those.
Not DNS, but something kind of like that.
Yeah, no, it kind of connects to DNS, but essentially it sounded to me like they did an upgrade, it went bad, and it affected their internal systems as well.
Right.
So the people that could fix it were not where the servers were, and the people where the servers were did not have the permissions to fix it, and that's the short end that I got of it. But I don't know. But it was down, I didn't use it, and when it was up, I used it.
That's the thing. Is a lot of people. So Facebook goes down. A lot of people are like, Facebook's down. Well, I don't use Facebook. Haha, suckers. And now to play Pokemon Go. Wait a minute.
Right. Yeah.
Now to play FIFA Mobile. Oh, wait a minute. I can't. And really, oh my gosh.
I mean,
yeah.
Instagram, WhatsApp, like all their ad services, like it impacted a lot of stuff, like a lot of other businesses.
And we're specifically talking about gaming. One thing that Amanda, actually, shout out to Amanda who brought it to my attention, but a lot of, less developed countries where, rely on WhatsApp very, for like, education society, like there's a lot of stuff like that is a lot more, deeply integrated. And of course, like they're not getting answers for when that stuff isn't working. But specifically, we're bringing up in a video game podcast for the reasons we have said that this is behind a lot of things you might not realize. You might own an Oculus Quest 2 and have not set it up yet. And when you do, you will maybe be shocked to learn that you absolutely have to get a Facebook account. I have a brand shiny new Facebook account only for Oculus that I created. I will not be friending you on that. Sorry, Huber.
I don't use Facebook.
Oh, didn't PlayStation all of them? They used to have a Facebook login thing, and they disconnected it.
Yeah.
A lot of places.
Yeah.
A lot of things. And then Facebook stopped being relevant, except for like throwing elections and stuff.
And
Zing.
I'm on the fence because you have FIFA, you have Oculus, tweeting out that they're like, oh yeah, it doesn't work because Facebook's freaking out today. So what do you expect us to do? And I'm like, yeah, I guess what can you do? But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, not use Facebook. You kind of are to blame here for relying so much on this system.
Boot up the evil within and call it in October. Let's go.
But at the same time, outages are kind of a part of life. How do you feel about outages, Huber? Like, when something just straight up doesn't work, do you just go up? Do you go outside and read a book, or?
We had some outages like last year, and we had to light candles and stuff, and.
Oh, power outages.
Yeah, like full-on power
Remember
outages, and nothing worked. No power, no nothing. We had to light some candles, and we just hung out like they did in the olden days. Like
life will go on.
Yeah.
When the Xan used to go out at Viacom, it was the greatest.
That was
There's
the straight power outage. Whenever you hear the click with the lights, they were like half of the employees were like,
Yeah.
no, and the other half were like, hooray!
Yeah, all the editors.
Snow day, let's go.
All the editors, we were just like, well, going home.
When you get the
See you
systems
later.
back, it'll take forever for you to get them up and running.
Yeah.
Figure.
It took 6 hours to recalibrate.
What was it? Was it PS3? The infamous Sony outage?
Oh, like a
the
month.
big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Was that was PS4?
Was it PS4 or PS3?
Pretty sure it's PS3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feels like it was right around the cusp of that time, like 10 years
And
ago.
now it ended up lawsuits and people getting payments and
There's
it's
just
like-
so
yeah.
much to play now. Like if something's down, something else is up. Move on.
But it just this
Fortnite.
is interesting because PlayStation goes down and it affects PlayStation services and PlayStation games. Where I think there's a lot of people who were like, oh, I didn't know Facebook was connected to that, and it just kind of fixed. Everyone's mad at Facebook, and then Facebook goes away, and everyone's like, hey, get back here, Facebook.
Yeah,
That's funny.
2011 PS3.
Crazy. 10 years ago? What?
Yeah. That seems way more recent than that. What?
But yeah, I do think people are going to be looking at
Whoa.
their codes and figuring out, kind of like what's the backup plan? If Facebook's not communicating, then, is there anything that we can do to keep people going?
We will see. Also this week, I wanted to dive more into this. This is so funny. eFootball. Anyone? eFootball?
Yeah,
Anyone?
eFootball.
Did you know about this before you heard the
Memes
story?
and stuff, but I don't really know the full story.
Because I made an awesome quote. I think it was on this podcast when eFootball first got announced. Now, this is Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, PES.
This is
not celebrated franchise.
This is not just a thing PES is doing. This is
Celebrated.
PES. PES,
Yes.
I missed this headline earlier in the year,
Yes.
became completely 100% eFootball. That is the name of that brand now. This is Konami's flagship. One of the only video game things Konami's doing. And they were like, we're going to make it a free-to-play soccer game, have microtransactions and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, free-to-play sports game, especially soccer. Whoa, I bet that could be really big. Not if it breaks so bad that it has an overwhelmingly negative rating on Steam. Steam 250, this is just one source that's saying this. It said is the worst rated game on Steam. This is literally the game more people hate on Steam than any other game. Earlier, out of over 7,000 reviews, it only had 1,600 positive votes, 8%. Only anything that people had to say positive about this. Basically, obviously all the free-to-play stuff people can be frustrated with, but there's just a lot of glitches, a lot of flailing arms, a lot of funny victory celebrations. The animations are pretty funny. Somebody, like the arm swinging back, somebody put Naruto music underneath it. Like, it fits. The crowds, Huber, if anybody wants a good rush for Halloween, go dig up some of these crowd things.
No,
they are legitimately terrifying.
I don't
because
want
you'll
to
see a crowd and you're like, that guy's face is funny, whatever.
Just
And then
show
like
already.
behind
It's
him,
like,
it's just like
their
face is sucked in, and they, it's like, or they're like two heads mashed together.
The show
Some really
glitch
terrifying
is
stuff.
still in my brain.
I
It
know.
will never go away, and it upsets me.
Sports glitch horror is such an underrepresented genre.
That would be a great indie game. Some sports glitching horror game, Jones. That's a really good idea. Someone should
Try
make
to
that.
survive. Don't worry about winning. Just worry about surviving.
Yeah.
New York Comic Con is happening. It's where we got those Resident Evil trailers. There's a lot of other stuff happening. So if you're, if something came up on Sunday, and you're like, why didn't they talk about the podcast? It's Thursday. It's this weekend, so they're just getting into the swing of
Stranger
it.
Things probably coming, right? Trailer for that, maybe?
No, they showed the video already at the Netflix event, the house clip.
Oh,
Saw that?
Yeah.
So it's
Got
coming
it.
next year.
Cool.
Bandai Namco changed their logo.
Boy, did they.
Yeah, it's not great. It's
Kind
kind
of
of
reminds
boring.
me of the old
Boo.
Time Crisis Namco logo. I don't know why everyone's pissed.
So it's just
It looks soulless. The
All right.
classic logo is like awesome and
the
iconic.
classic, it's good.
What-
It's
this
really
looks
good.
like a Twitch knockoff.
it's just a speech bubble. It's very simple.
Yeah,
Well, it's especially weird when it says "fun for all." into
that
the future
slogan
under it.
is so what the hell.
It's just like,
please,
huh?
no, way too wordy.
And in just such a dumb, boring font.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Layers of Fear teased something. Probably three, but
go.
they didn't say three. They just
Let's
said,
go.
quote, your fear will return.
Let's go.
It
Had a
seemed
little
like
Twitter
you might
fun.
be playing as the painter this time. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like a
there
prequel
was-
or something.
Go.
It sounded interesting for sure.
Whoa.
PC Gamer reported that Capcom wants PC to be its main platform for games in the future. I'm sure, obviously, if you have a console, you'll be able to check out those Capcom games. But interesting, obviously.
Good
PC
on them for being so awesome about modding. You can
Sure.
mod so much Resident Evil 3 stuff.
That's very celebrated.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
See how the Yakuza stuff goes though.
Will there be a Thomas the Train Engine joke in the Resident Evil movie? I'll be waiting for it. Acclaim_games launched on Twitter and then went away. And is it back? What's happening?
I don't know.
Acclaim was like, we're back. Goodbye.
I'm curious to find out if that was real or
But
if
didn't
somebody
Acclaim,
having
like-
a laugh.
Come back and then go or something?
Winback's back.
What's that?
Isn't Acclaim like still around? They're just not. Is there like there's some business called Acclaim that's still in bit or something?
I don't know. I have not heard anyone talking about Acclaim for so many years.
It's not a hype name, but I just remember.
Do they
I remember
own
seeing that
Turok?
logo somewhere. On
According
No.
to
No,
Wikipedia,
Disney
Turok's
got
owned by-
Turok.
Turok's a new company, which is why I hate bad news,
Okay.
Hubert. Turok will probably not come to the N64 collection.
It's all right. It's on.
Yeah.
It's on a lot of franchises. It's
somebody-
on PC and
somebody
stuff
got it
now, and
from Disney, or-
PlayStation and Xbox.
Because they already put out those versions
Yep,
out there
which are
that they're
great.
selling them that will not go to N64.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, it was defunct in 2010 and has been dissolved. Acclaim
Wow.
Games.
Yeah.
A
Does
company
not
called
exist.
Playdom bought them in 2010 and then shut them down the next year.
That's
Yeah.
sad.
Lots of companies, lots of names that we love. Platinum Games is currently busy lessening the painted style in Babylon's Fall, or some people said just making it less blurry. Which Babylon's Fall is definitely blurry. There was definitely a painterly
Yeah.
kind of smushed aesthetic, and it's interesting that like they're specifically they said a lot of people they came in to check out early part of the game, like all of them were like, I can't. It's fun, I'm enjoying it, but I can't see what I'm doing. So still want to keep that painted style, but add a little bit more detail there. Universal Studios has plans to bring Pokemon to its Japan theme park. Which means we'll get it in 2046. Ninja Theory went to the island of Skye in Scotland and screamed a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just imagine they're like, sorry to all the locals, but they really want to get that authentic sound in the canyons.
Best dev
Someone's
diaries in
hiking,
the
like-
biz.
What's going on right now? They're having a good time. Shenmue the Animation dropped a trailer this week, 2022.
Sick.
It does look pretty great.
Highlighted only action though, so hopefully we get moments of just Rio going through the town, shooting the shit, playing some arcade games. Like we need those slice of life moments. This trailer was all martial arts. So hopefully
I was saying
it's
to
not just
Huber, I
that.
hope there's a filler episode that's like entirely him just trying to get a gotcha thing out
so
of it.
good.
For like an entire episode, just
That'd
trying
be
to get a fire truck or
so
whatever.
good. Yeah,
Or
like
or
I
you could
want
do-
those mystery episodes where he's talking to townspeople.
Or you could do, you know how like a lot of shows they have like the post credits,
Yeah.
scene or preview or whatever.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
seat, every time there's a gotcha.
That's funny. That's a good idea.
That's brilliant. I love it.
And sadly, Dragon Quest series composer Koichi Sujama died at the age of 90. Sugiyama? Sugiyama. 90.
Controversial
I
human
have
to say
bite,
the least.
I have to bite my tongue right here.
Yeah, same.
I don't want to say
Is he
something
kind
that'll
of
get
a-
us in trouble.
Wasn't
Same.
he kind of a not nice guy?
Correct.
He's got some. Well, he had some beliefs that don't line up with facts, but
thank you for the tunes.
But also, is also, that's humanity, right? It's like people can be amazing and also weird, so it's very difficult.
Yeah, the story will be like what happens with the rights for the music going forward.
Right.
Like, where does it go?
That's the other thing is he
Yeah.
was such a big deal in terms of that he kind of had an iron fist with how that music could be used.
Yeah.
But also worth noting that he was a big reason that video game concerts became a thing. He drove that momentum in Japan and was one of the first to do that.
Speaking of sweet tunes, it's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Kristen G. Rosario. Hey there, allies. I wanted to ask you a question in regards to the world looking, to the outside world looking in when it comes to video games. I've recently been catching up with the world according to Jeff Goldblum, and I made it to the episode on gaming. In it, Goldblum goes to the DreamHack Digital Festival for a CS:GO tournament, and is utterly shocked to find out that the winning team will receive $100,000, which is not that much when it comes to tournaments. This got me thinking, has there ever been something about the world of gaming that a friend and or family member of yours who isn't a part of the world of video games was surprised to find out about the gaming world? Also, thank you, Huber, for being so awesome. You are my hype spirit animal. Never stop being amazing.
Thank you.
Never stop.
Just trying to explain what our job
Exactly.
is enough
Yeah.
to send relatives through the
That's-
roof. They're like,
that's-
what? What?
yeah.
You make game
That's
trailers?
probably the
No.
most
Yeah.
number one thing right there. Yeah. Do you make game trailers? You work for the game companies? Which trailers did you guys make?
You work for Nintendo? I definitely had that.
Yeah, you make Call of Duty? No.
It's like, no, I write about Nintendo.
I do like talking to other parents. And they're like, oh yeah, I heard you were, into game stuff like that. Have you heard of Fortnite? I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, the kid. Have you heard of Minecraft? I'm like, yes.
That's always so cute when that happens. It's so cute.
Oh, the live streaming. Even with this video content, it's like who wants to watch, to watch you play games? Like who does that? Like that concept is lost on some people. There's why don't they just go do it themselves? Why don't they play the games themselves?
I have thought I've gotten people. I thought I've caught them in the moment where I'm just like, well, you watch, the NBA finals, don't you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, why don't you just go play basketball? It's like, because they're really good at basketball.
That's,
I'm like,
yeah. They're like, who
we're
are you?
getting somewhere. And they're like, yeah,
you?
what's up? I don't understand. I'm like, you just said, never mind.
Yeah.
You said you enjoy watching people who are good at your favorite sport do the sport.
Really funny.
So before I wake up, I've got about 50 or 60 emails most days. And a lot
I
of
just stopped checking mine.
Yeah.
a lot of
Open, close.
No.
Open, close.
I have 70,000 unread emails, but
Oh my gosh. Anyways, but a lot of them are just these dumb, weird studies, people looking to get publicity for some survey they did or whatever. And this was the hilarious one to me this week. Interacting with streaming video looks to be a major driver for media companies expanding in the video game space. I'm like,
Looks to be.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
were you this is 5 years too late?
Right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. That was the thing. We just recently did
Maybe
NPDs,
8
and I
years
haven't
too
done
late.
NPDs in a while because, coming to the Easy Odds
Missed it.
podcast and being like, guys, the Switch is selling really well. It's not. We've discussed that. We've had that conversation.
My favorite thing to do with people who don't game in the industry is show them real life things. So I remember showing my dad Medal of Honor Allied Assault because you storm Normandy Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I would show him that, or True Crime Streets of L.A. or L.A. Noir.
L.A. Noir. I showed my
whole
parents. They got a
family
big kick out of that. Yeah.
Lived in L.A., born in L.A., so it's just showing them that. So that's fun.
From Jeremy C. I recently started Alan Wake Remastered. This is my first time playing the game. It's been great so far. Scrolling through the menus, I saw that it has an option to replay cinematics and the soundtrack. Replaying cinematics has always been a favorite feature of mine in games. However, you don't really see it too often in modern gaming. There are a few exceptions. Neo and Neo 2, I believe, have the option to replay cinematics. What if Spider-Man does? I don't think, but that was a very story-heavy game that's I know there's a thing before Miles Morales if you want to get caught up on the story.
Yeah.
Why don't we see this in games more often? Yes, YouTube, but there's a great handful of games that are hard to locate the cinematics for. Also, spoilers if you want to not jump ahead accidentally. I would love to be able to replay cinematics for so many other games without having to replay the games themselves. Does anybody else miss this feature?
Yeah.
I feel like there's still a pocket of Japanese games to do this.
Yeah, Tales of Arise just did it with with CG, all the CG cutscenes. Once you see them, you can replay them in there.
Does Metal Gear Solid 4 do it? Guns of the Patriots?
I forget.
I remember Final Fantasy 11 and 14 does that. You go to talk to someone, and they're like, "Oh, I remember that."
14 has almost all of them. They keep adding more too, which is great. But on the flip side, it's funny because you said YouTube, that's the exact reason why Sakurai was against adding it as deep adventure mode as they did in Brawl with Subspace Emissary, because everyone just goes watch everything on the internet and watch it again. Why do you need to?
That's my fault.
Oh, it's blood. Right here. Yeah, blood right there.
It was my job. It was my fault.
That's funny.
Because we got that Japanese copy in the game trailers, and I was like, yeah, I'm recording all that stuff, and we'll put it on GameTrailers.com.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Rich Brown used to do that, he ran he ran a farmer's market for old game intros and stuff.
Oh, well, that was one of the arguments I got. In a couple of years in with importing games, because there would be times where we would import games, record the intro, and then put the game on the shelf and never touch it again because it would be like a visual novel or something. And why are we spending $70, $80 per game on stuff? And once in a great while they might do a lot of views, but a lot of them just didn't. So it was what? So that was pretty funny.
Replaying cinematics, just for catching up on the story, if you've been away for a while, I find myself really wanting all games for me now need to have a journal, whether it's contextual or not. Just let me see what I've done, where I'm at. Let me get in the head of the character, or let me see the enemy types. I love that when a game doesn't have that now, and I'm just kind of thrown into it. I'm like, what? Where am I? What happened again?
I wish Metroid Prime 2 had that.
Yeah, I love.
Game's got a good journal.
8 months away from it.
Toem. That photography game that's on Switch.
Great
journal that you can go back to old environments and be like, all right, what was I doing? Oh, right, this thing. And how many have I done so far? Okay, great.
Say what you will about Deadly Premonition 2, and it certainly fits the style, but it has a nice previously on. Every time you start the game,
love that stuff.
I've seen a lot of people on social media suggest that should happen. I remember when I was gearing up to kill Arthas. I think it took me 3 or 4 months to finally be able to kill that guy. When we just tried again and again every single week, and none of us had seen the ending except for people like your friend don't care about spoilers. And they put a statue in the middle of Dalaran that had a button on it. If you just hit the button, it played Arthas' death.
That's right.
And no window came up that's this is the ending of the expansion that you're currently in right now. Do you want to watch this? You click it and plays it. And I didn't go there, but one person in our guild was just exploring, and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And they clicked, oh, cool, what's this? And they're watching it. They're like, "Oh, what's this? Okay, this. Oh, wait, is this Arth? Oh, well, I'm watching it." And you're great.
Totally.
Thanks, Blizzard. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then they went into guild chat and were like, "Don't click the statue. I now know how Arthas dies." I mean, obviously he's gonna just collapse in the battlefield. It wasn't crazy spoilers, but there was dialogue and the music swelled and everything. It was a moment you wanted to preserve if you wanted to.
Good time for me to bring this up. Totally aside, but I need to say it. The Life is Strange True Colors DLC kind of does something similar, where it's hey, about those other games.
Yeah, you
with
told
no
me about this. Yeah,
it's not it should be. Have you played the other games? It's no. It's right away about those, just for the DLC. So if you played True Colors and you have not played Before the Storm or Life is Strange 1, don't play the DLC. Just don't do it yet, because they should have a warning. So I want to put that out there.
There's a DLC for True Colors already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeez.
And it's amazing.
But yeah, what you're saying about it previously on, it would be really great if somebody did one of those that, it did a date check on your save file, and it's they see that it's been a week or 2 weeks or a month or however long since you last played it, and they just pop up, "Hey, do you want a reminder on the story right now?"
Yeah. Even if it's just text or something, or even just literally, like you're saying, replays those cutscenes. Gives me a second from the beginning of them.
Love that.
From Alexander Zirianov, last week was Steam Next Fest. I tried almost every demo, and I want to highlight 3 games, which Alexander has done for us in the past.
Out of control. How?
Almost every demo.
How?
It's that almost that I wonder. I almost didn't pick this question. Almost.
There's probably a couple in there that you could tell. You could tell whether you're in or not.
Skip that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Alexander's into these 3 games. Hourglass.
Okay.
A clever puzzle game where you create a time clone of yourself set in pretty natural environments. It reminds me. You know, what it reminds me of is Clank. Didn't Clank? Clank does a lot of that, right?
Oh,
Where he
yeah.
goes here and then becomes someone else. and then
Oh,
he goes somewhere else.
yeah.
Lemnis Gate. Yep.
Yep.
Skip. Okay.
Yep. Too many games. Title _pending. You playtest a new game and hear developers' commentaries, but the game acts in unpredictable ways.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Like my PC.
Feels it's a good one. Feels like a spiritual successor to the Stanley Parable. And finally, Storyteller, which is the only one that I do think I have heard of.
I have heard of that.
You create a comic strip on a given subject by picking a series of sets and assigning characters to each panel. Fun.
Very
that
cool.
one looks cool.
But I know we checked out a little bit of Steam Next Fest. Anything we want to add to there that people should keep an eye out for?
I
Who's on
know.
our list
Even
there?
you weren't on it. The firefighter game.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
effed up.
Fire
I'm so
Girl.
effing pumped about it,
That was
dude.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I want that game so bad.
And firefighter games are like the new, post-apocalyptic Russian third-person shooter.
There's a few of them.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the somebody keeps re-releasing Real Hero Firefighter. The Wii game.
They gotta compete.
I think it's on PS5 or something now. It just keeps coming out.
You got to keep that brand out there. You got to let them know because when 5 comes out, you got to have that brand
That door for
recognition.
heat.
Yeah. You got to check that door.
Yeah, my mind's a blank. I don't remember what else all we played. I know we played a little bit of Kaiju Wars, and it was all right.
Oh yeah. The Star Fox sound effect.
The sweary one.
Yeah, the Good Life.
Yeah.
Good life.
The Chameleon game, whatever that one was, where you're role playing as like Quest, and they make fun of like Fetch Quest, and you attack cardboard like cutouts of monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
it's like
Lil
Breath of the
Gator,
Wild. It's like
Lil
Zelda.
Gator.
Yeah, Lil
That was
Gator.
it. That was
It's
great.
like keeps
That was
referencing
really good.
Zelda without saying Zelda, and it's like, it was fun. Good jokes. I like the jokes. The writing was good.
That's good. That's high praise.
From Kroldemort to thank you for your contributions to video game journalism.
Oh.
The state of California decides to build a large statue in your honor.
No.
Rather than the traditional horse, your likeness will be carved writing a video game creature of your choice. What noble or terrifying creature is your statue writing?
Oh, what am I writing?
What are you on?
On an animal.
Yeah.
Any animal to ride.
The one reborn from Bloodborne.
Cool.
That's good.
Was it a video game or any animal? Just an animal?
I just imagine that. Did you see that one reborn statue? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you know Isla's on it? Really? Like, yeah. I was just kind of taken by it. I didn't know. Like, yep, right up there on the top.
Like 70 feet in the air.
I missed it. Sorry, what'd you say, Bud?
Was this like specifically like a video game creature or just like any animal?
A video game creature of your choice.
Video game creature. Huh?
So it doesn't have to be a boss, or in Bloodborne.
It has to be from Bloodborne.
I guess.
Has to be from Bloodborne.
What of the monsters are the most rideable?
I mean, does it have to be a
Maria,
monster or
lol.
just like a creature? You said creature,
I
right?
know.
Not monster.
I mean, I gotta go with the
But you're
chocobo.
talking about.
I gotta do.
I
a
mean,
chocobo.
yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah.
duh, of course.
But I want to do like the old school crazy chocobo art, not the cutesy ones.
We're all on different chocobos, yeah.
Sure.
I'd probably go with the 11 chocobo.
We're all gonna be on different Yoshis.
Final Fantasy
Well, there-
Tactics
yeah.
style.
Well, I'll be on a black chocobo then, because I like that black chocobo, Final Fantasy IV.
I'm on a Yoshi, but it's right when I'm punching him in the back of the head, and so his eyes are kind of bugged out, and
Nice.
the tongue's like straight out. He's shocked. He's surprised. It's not like it's the first time I've done it. He just didn't know that punch was coming. And you're like, that's so horrible. You spend the entirety of Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World doing it, so.
I am on Jin Sakai's horse with the new horse armor.
Oh. Barreling through a tree. Like they're all coming out of the way.
Yeah.
It's
Bodies
funny
are
because-
flying.
Good.
Yeah.
It wasn't until that was, I feel like, pointed out a few years ago that anybody considered that punching Yoshi in the head.
I considered it punching Yoshi in the head when I was playing Super Mario World in the 90s. The first time I jumped on him, I was like, what is he doing? I think I called my brother in. I was like, is he punching that dinosaur in the back of the head to make its tongue fly out of its mouth? Yeah, that's what he's doing. Yeah. He's just gotta, but he rescues Peach at the end of the day. So, the ends justify the means, I guess. From Eric J.
Did anybody not name their? So sorry. Did anybody
No,
not?
I think we did. Chocobos, Yoshi.
No. Did anybody
the
not?
horse, me, and
Did anyone not name their horse in Ghost of Tsushima Sora?
well, yeah.
What?
No, it wasn't. What are the options?
It's like Sora.
I did not pick Sora because when I was
No?
streaming it, I specifically said I knew all of you picked Sora, so I'm not picking Sora.
Nobu for sure. No,
Yeah, Nobu is what I picked.
Yeah, Nobu
Yeah.
was mine.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sick. All right.
Oof.
Cool. Moving on.
Getting all emotional now. Thanks, Huber.
Mm-hmm.
From Eric J. Do you think the hype in the video game industry has more positive or negative effects on games overall? More specifically, what is an example of hype marketing done well? What is an example of hype marketing done poorly?
Cyberpunk.
It's a very open question, but I just kind of like the idea of just like right now on the top of your head, what's an example of a good and bad campaign?
Well,
Not a game. The
No Man's
campaign
Sky got
specifically.
overhyped for sure.
Man's
Yeah.
Sky.
Sure.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk also way too overhyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Smash Brothers obviously doing it right.
Yep. And God of War Reboot is one of the best examples for me of AAA. Highest possible budget of a game, highest expectations, crushed it. Revealed just enough as time went on.
Yeah, that's actually
then
something
that's
that's really impressive is how well that they showed that game without showing that game.
Yep.
Restraint
Big
is
time
hugely
restraint.
important.
Big time. Inspirational.
Halo 3. Just like everything Halo 3 did, I was so wrapped up in it. I'm like, I care more about this campaign than the actual trailer, just because these. Where are they going to go next? What are they going to do?
Yeah. This one might be more mixed, especially with you being here, Blowers, because I think you like this game pretty decently. The GoldenEye remake. When they were like when they
Sure.
advertised it, like, hey, remember N64 GoldenEye? Well, this isn't really it, but here's
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, I think it was a better game than a lot of people gave it credit for, but at the same time, it's very weird.
Yeah.
It's very strange that we're going to make a new GoldenEye game that is not the game that you want.
Yeah. Weird.
Just anytime like the developers or marketing teams clearly understand their fan base. Like I think 14 is a great example of that. For me personally, like the most hilarious example was the Annapurna Interactive showcase when the guy was talking about the Outer Wilds DLC, and he was like, "It fits right in." And then I out loud said, "How?" And then he said, "If you've played the game, you might be wondering how." You know, it's like he gets it. He gets it.
And like, yo, Elden Ring is like 3 or 4 months away.
My God.
We've seen nothing.
Yeah.
Talk about restraint.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
I
it's even
love
weirder.
that.
It's even weirder than that. Some people have seen a 16-minute hands-off gameplay, and they haven't released that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
so awesome.
But we never saw a lot of Bloodborne before Bloodborne came out, a lot of Dark Souls
Yeah.
3 before, like a lot.
They always have, like-
they never really
There's usually
oversaturate it.
network tests.
They always
But-
have a leak, and then they have an actual trailer,
My,
and then they
my
have like
bad
4 more
campaigns that I want to bring up, because it's easy to talk about something like No Man's
Yeah,
Sky,
yeah,
where it's like
yeah.
that campaign hurt. These campaigns never hurt because these games are huge. But like back in the early, I created the cycle game trailers. I don't know if you know about this. I'm into the whole game trailer scene. You know, like I'm a fan of those when those come out. And when an Assassin's Creed cinematic would come out, I would lose my mind every time. Like
So good.
and I just
So good.
don't care anymore. Like I don't care about any Ubisoft property. They all have 40 trailers, and I'm just like I'm so tuned out.
Well, we
So
got
right.
Deathloop.
Deathloop, dude. Jeez.
But yeah, I think Deathloop, they just didn't know what to do. I think Deathloop, they got the style. And they're like, oh, the style's going to carry this. And it's like,
but yeah.
if you have a style, that's cool. But if you do 20 trailers in the style, I'm going to get kind of,
Also, like,
I'll
it
fall asleep
doesn't
at some
seem
point.
like that hard of a concept to explain.
Yeah.
they just never did it.
They just
or
never
they kept
tried.
re-explaining it. Yeah.
They like explained and explained and explained, but never actually explained it.
But it's just,
so
I mean,
weird.
go to youtube.com/Ubisoft. It might be like Ubisoft NA or something, as they have the different languages for different regions and stuff. And just scroll through the upload list. It is ridiculous how many videos they make. And it's great because their communities are really strong. So they make stuff that's like, here's the update we just did. And I like that. But like pre-release stuff, they chuck 500 trailers. And it's like, you stop. Like, it's a bummer because I used to like, I used to be excited because I knew there's gonna be that one trailer to
Dude,
be
yeah,
pumped
don't
for,
even
and now
talk
it
to
just
me.
gets lost in the
Those
in the.
Ezio trailers, Jones. My God. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's time for bets. Next week's bet, Back for Blood, launches on Tuesday, October 12th. 2 days before we record this podcast. When we record that episode on Thursday, I want to know how many people are going to be watching this on Twitch. I gave the panel as reference, checked a couple hours ago, Dead by Daylight had around 22,000 when I checked this afternoon. Michael Huber. How many people are watching Back for Blood?
34,000.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
I hope so. I don't know.
I'd be excited. Michael Damiani.
I decided to go really high. I went 85,000.
85,000.
Hope for that paid.
That's a hit.
Fortnite numbers.
That's a hit.
Paid influencer streaming there.
Isla Hank's going even higher.
Nope,
No.
I split the diff, 62K.
Okay, that's a good.
All it takes is
It's good
one or
cozy
two
night.
I wrote this
influencers.
thinking this was really high, 30.7 thousand.
I thought this was high. too.
26K. I got the lowest of the
Nice.
bunch. 26K.
Nice.
Okay.
It's gonna be 15 or something.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Trying to be optimistic.
I think the influencers are probably on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
The
weekend.
problem.
This is
yeah,
the big weekend
it'll,
for them.
it'll wear off by then. Yeah. Never know.
This week's bet: Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania launched last Tuesday. It launched
I like
October
that.
5th. We played it. We liked it. How many monkeys are on the back of that box? I wanted to know. Brad Ellis bet 3. Ben Moore bet 6. Isla Hink bet 32. Daniel Bloodworth also bet 3, which could have been interesting. And I bet 13.
I hope it's 30.
There's a bit of a discrepancy toward what box start are we going to pick and what box start is what.
Yeah, there was a UK box.
No,
that you got
USA. We are
first.
in the USA.
There was
Obviously,
a USA
right.
box,
Yeah.
But we weren't
but
sure
the USA
what the
box
US
also had a sleeve, and the art on the sleeve was different than the art on the case.
It's the
That
No,
is
it's the
tricky.
It's the kit. It's what
Okay.
it's what I see
Fair
in,
enough,
in,
fair enough.
in Best Buy. When I go up and pick it and flip it over.
Yeah,
it's
so that's the
that.
sleeve. Yeah.
That's the thing. Nothing I have to buy to go see. Yeah.
So the sleeve is the one.
Yeah.
So what's the number on the sleeve? I thought I did the math and I thought I had it figured out, but you were spouting numbers before we went in here.
It was somewhere in the mid 30s, like 32 to 36, somewhere in there. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Bullseye.
It shows like merch.
Bullseye.
It shows there's one page on like a book that's open with like a monkey ball and then like 6 monkey balls.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little monkeys out there, like
Yeah.
almost like a family tree or something. There's a
But that's why
shot
it's
of them that's a reflection that was the thing that screwed me up the most because I'm like, do we count the reflections?
Yeah.
And then somebody pointed out, I was like, well, the reflections are wearing different costumes. I'm like, what? Why?
And there's a background motif of a monkey.
Yes, there's monkeys like 6 or 7 of them on the back just as a wallpaper.
That's the best bet, Isla. Well
Not to
done.
mention the
Thanks.
screenshots.
Because it
Best
could
bet of the
because it
year.
could have been like 2 or it could have been 500. Like there's no
Right.
there's no way to know. But I got my new monkey ball. I know next time around I'm going to get that bet. Bringing our scores to Jovial Penguins 26.
Scented or unscented?
Oh, I heard that wrong.
Vociferous Beavers 18.
Nom.
Almost had 3 in a row. I won one of those box arts. It just wasn't the right box art. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. I'm going to be a little bit selfish with this one. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of fun things you can get on that patreon.com/easyallies. But every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, you can catch me chatting for about an hour, usually about 40 minutes now, 30 or 40 minutes. I answer questions. I do a little editorial. I go over the schedule for the week. I talk about things that you might have missed the previous week. It's called Cup of Jones. You can see it exclusively on patreon.com/easyallies for just $1. You get all exclusive shows and a bunch of other stuff. But Monday mornings, I would love it if you would join me on Patreon. We have lots of fun stuff to talk about. I talk about all the games I'm freaking out about. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the editorial,
name 2 of them.
Hot Wheels Unleashed, I almost missed. And The Last Friend, that Streets of Rage beat 'em up dog turret.
You got me hyped on this, Jones.
Oh my goodness.
I want to play this so bad.
And those are both just on my PC. The Castlevania collection's on the Switch, screaming at me. So I talked about all of that stuff. Yeah. But it's nice to get a little leads up. Bloodworth is in the chat, so if I make any mistakes, usually he'll correct me in real time. But at our
And then
very
Jones will read it about 5 minutes later.
right, the delay is good. And shout out to there's a lot of people who show up every Monday morning for that. So shout out to every people who are letting me know what's going on in the world. Our shout out list is the same, right? Because it's the beginning of the month. We got some wonderful people at our shout-out tier. It is our tip-top tier, patreon.com/easyallies. Shout out to L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, and Nick. Shout out.
Shout
out.
Isla Hink, you won this podcast. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
Please watch Mysterious Monsters. Please watch
Watch
it.
it.
And share it with 2 friends.
Share it.
Please.
Watch it.
The algorithm hates that show, And we put so much work into it, and I just love it so much. And I think it's really good and needs higher numbers. I think it deserves it.
Please watch it.
Yeah, please. It's wonderful. Unless you don't like it, then whatever. Just send it to two of your friends who might like it. Final word. I don't know. Just be nice to people, I guess. Good night and good game. Bye. Predator does it right.
All day
Maybe
long.
this time.
Psycho Break.